This ain't the show, nah, this ain't the scene, just a prelude to the in-between. Vaults in the shadows, screen says soon, like a ghost in the glow of a neon moon. NFTs in his pocket used to flex that wealth. Mickey and Marvel stacking them shelves, but now they dust, just a digital ghost. Vault's got a pass, but tonight he's the host.
Starting soon, hold your breath.
Cool.
Takes close.
What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Sorry about the late start. Had a little bit of technical difficulties, but we are good to go now for this week's Commie and The Hog with the legendary MoKnowz. What's up, Mo?
What up, brother? What up, chat? Hope everybody's doing well. It's another beautiful week here.
Yes, it is. We weren't live last week, so we got 2 whole weeks worth of stuff to talk about. We've got lots of fun stuff to talk about this week. We've got a couple of different paranormal videos, topics to get into. We got to talk about Lebron James going to the 76ers. Shout out to Rob T first to the chat. Shout out to Splints here. We got OG Biggest Bro and OG Big A. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. It's definitely going to be worth it because we got a great show. Like I said, we're going to get into LeBron James. We're going to talk about that Tom Brady video that's been going around. I don't know if y'all saw it with him riding around on his yacht all by himself and everybody clowning on him. I've got a few things to say about that. And then we get to politics. We're definitely going to be talking about transgender in sports. That's a topic that I like to talk about. And it's big. It's been big because of, what's her name? Sophie Cunningham, I want to say. Sophie something.
Cunningham, yeah.
Yeah.
My girl, MAGA Barbie.
Yeah, and then they tried to get Caitlin Clark to talk about
but...
it. And she was like, I ain't talking about it. And everybody's like, oh, Caitlin's a coward. But I wouldn't talk about it either. Shout out to Falcon Who. Good to see you, my man. There's a name I ain't seen in a while. Kurazimi in the house. What's up, Kurazimi? Yeah, he was hanging out with this in the Captain America drop, sniping stuff. Mo was supposed to go with for Captain America with this, and he forgot all about it completely. Ahoy, ahoy. What's up, Denny OC? Good to see you, my man. Thanks for hanging out with us. What happened to you, Mo?
We weren't live last week?
No. I had to.
We were live last week because I thought I was going to wake up Thursday.
Yeah, I had to take my kid to open house. He just started school.
Oh, that was last week.
Yep.
That was the week before.
All
When the
right.
hell was Captain America? Was that 2 weeks ago now?
That was on a Thursday because I took the day off of work.
I
So
remember.
it's been like a week and a half.
Well, my girl was in Italy. She was 6 hours ahead. My schedule was fucked up anyway. So take that into account, and I was all over the place. But
What's your
And it
girl
was
doing
heat,
in
man.
Italy? I think
Oh.
I'd be scared if my girl was in Italy. A lot of
yeah,
tall Italians.
I was. When things started popping off. I'm going to talk about that later too. But yeah, when things started popping off, I was just like, huh. Let's see.
It was a good drop. It was a buggy drop. I was live for like 3 hours. Big Time Big A says, can we revisit Mo
Oh,
saying
we're going to.
people were vandalizing reflecting pool? Is Piro a liar? Oh, you already know. I've got a little bit to talk about when we get to politics when it comes to
talked
reflecting
about
pool.
it again. Again, go back and watch the show. I said people shouldn't have been fucking around when they put gates up, and that's all I
I even
said.
have a clip of what you said last time too, so it's all
Good.
good. I got your back. Kurzimi said,
Bring
did your
it up.
boss find out that you missed work for the job? No, I took vacation, and I'm
I
allowed
hope
to
you
take
have on that clip
vacation.
where I said it was a bad idea for them to be driving over it as well. I hope you have that part. man.
The clip exonerates you, just so you know. DDOC says, just having dinner, but we'll catch up when done. No problem, man. We just started, so you're not missing anything. Grandma Moore's in the house with us tonight. Good to see you, Grandma Moore. Thanks for hanging out. We're going to get
Fuck
into...
you, Big A. You like to misconstrue what I say. Fuck you. No, I'm kidding.
We're going to get
We
into
love
our
you.
paranormal topic, and I want to start with, where else? Blink 182. What? Blink 182 for paranormal? Well, if you know about UFOs, then you probably know who I'm talking about in Blink 182. It's Tom DeLonge, or is it DeLonge? He's like the lead singer. And
That was like when you say Target or Target.
I know. I'm French. I got a French last name, so I should say DeLonge. But this is the dude that used to be the lead singer of Blink 182, and then he got into UFOs, and he even started his own business called To the Stars Academy of Arts and Science, and he was credited with helping to get the Tic Tac UFO video released. And he's talking about videos all the time on all these podcasts, and there's one particular video that he's always bringing up saying that people need to see. But when you try to look and search for him, and you search maybe Tom DeLonge plus UFOs, or which UFO video does Tom DeLonge think is the most relevant or whatever, they'll never show you the one that I'm going to show you today, because I feel like they're trying to suppress it and they're hiding it from you. But if you listen to his interviews, this is the one he wants to talk about. And there was actually a point not too long ago, well, it has been a while, in 2016, when he somehow had a meeting with John Podesta, who at the time was head of national security or something. There's proof here that they had this meeting, and the meeting was also with this scientist named McCaslin. William Neil McCaslin. He was a UFO expert, and he created this place called Riverside Research. They brought him this particular UFO video, and he said he's going to start investigating it. So a few months later, according to records, this McCaslin guy met with a member of Space Force, some members of Space Force. We don't know why or who they were, but then the next day he disappeared and nobody's seen him again. So in 2023, Tom DeLonge decided to post this video on Instagram, and that's when people started seeing it. It was actually filmed in 2013, before there were AI, before there were drones, and it was posted up by some dude named Bob. Now, this is the way Tom DeLonge always describes it whenever he's telling people about it. He's like, this is an actual real UFO, and he's like, note the whirling sound. You're going to be able to hear some whirling sound whenever we watch the video. But an important part of this is the guy Bob who released the video. You can find his YouTube channel. I don't know if I linked it. I might have linked it down in the description. But on his YouTube channel, he's only ever released 2 videos. This video and another kind of blurry UFO video. And he released them back in the day, like over 10 years ago. So in 2023, whenever Tom DeLonge posted this on Instagram, he probably would have known that his channel is blowing up and that he can make a bunch of money because his videos now getting millions of views, but he never ever tried to monetize it. In fact, he just disappeared. Nobody knows where he's at. He's never posted another video. So that's another thing to think about before we watch it. So here's his story. What he's basically saying happened that night in 2013 is that out in a rural part of Michigan, he heard some sounds out on his in his yard, and you'll see him driving through the yard. He saw a very strange object up in the sky near his home, so he jumped into his vehicle, followed it down a public dirt road. Then he suddenly turned, so he ended up running into a private road, which that's the private road is what you're going to see in the video. At that point, he says he's running out of track. He couldn't go any further, so he got out of his vehicle, and then he goes on to see, you can read it yourself, as he gets out of his vehicle, he starts to back away from his car, and then the UFO goes over his car, and you're going to see what happens when the UFO goes over his car. So like I said, this is a video that I feel like should be one of the top UFO videos, but you really don't see it around in circles or in montages or anything for some reason. I feel like maybe because it's trying to be suppressed. So let's watch it. At the beginning, there's not going to be any sound. This is that dirt private road that he talks about that he veered off into. But then you're going to hear a little bit of sound whenever he starts to see the UFO. So this is a UFO. It's not like a conventional looking one. It's kind of like wobbly or whatever, and it's real bright. And you'll hear the whirring, the weird sound. And usually with UFOs, you don't hear that sound. But I feel like maybe that's because if you're trying to fake a UFO with CGI or something, you wouldn't want to add sound into it to have another element to fake. So maybe this is what a real UFO sounds like. So this is him getting out of his truck or his car right now. And then he's going to back away from him. And as he backs away from his car, the UFO comes closer and closer. And he starts to notice, you can see right below it, you see this little beam of light. Let me know in the chat if y'all have seen this video before. So now the UFO is going to come and hover above his vehicle. And it seems to be shooting down a beam of light. He's filming it with his camera, but he notices with his eyes that the beam of light is starting to shine down on his car. So now he starts filming his car. And check this out, dude. This is wild. You're going to see the beam of light like lighting up on his car. It's like a green light here in a second. Soon. Let's come and shout out to Dan K's in the chat. Good to see you, my man. We got Chip Glitch in the building. Thanks for hanging out, my man. Enjoyed your BB stuff back in the day. I still do a little bit of BB's live streaming every once in a while if it's a good drop. Alright, now look. You see the light hitting his car? You're going to actually see the beam of green light that this unidentified flying object is shining down on his vehicle right in front of him. What the hell is that? What's that all about? Mythology in the house. What's up, my man? Thanks for hanging out with us.
That's my other account, but thank you.
Well, thank you for hanging out with us too. The BB video bot release recently was pretty fun. Yeah, I want to do more of those. Little old school vibes. And you can actually watch in this video it flying away, although it's doing this circular thing, which is weird, but then you can see it disappear and everything. In a lot of UFO videos, you don't see that. So after it scans this video, it flies away, swirling around, and then poof, off into the sky. So let's do a little bit of analysis. We're going to look at it really close, and the person on this video, you can see they're channel name up in the top right corner, but of course it's linked down in the description. They tried to get a better contrast on it. They're gonna have a few different ones, and I think they might have used AI to enhance a little bit, so I don't know how legit this is, but I don't know. What is that? Let me know what y'all think about it. Why is it shining down a green light onto his vehicle? Gang, what's up, C-Spill? Thanks for hanging out. Joined the VB team. Congrats, OG Vault joined the VB team. When was this? Nobody told me. I didn't get no phone call from David Yu. So yeah, this is the Tom DeLonge UFO video, and I call it that because this is the one that he always says this is a real UFO, but yet whenever you search for it under his name, I mean, this one's just hard to search for in general. It's hard to find this video.
Yeah, so what about Bob? The only time I think I've ever seen this was on a weird compilation about plasmoids.
About what?
Plasmoids.
Oh, yeah, it does look kind of plasmy-y.
Well, that's what I'm saying, yeah, because I had a buddy of mine, Troy, from the PFL stuff. He was heavy into the plasmoids because he knows I like that shit, and he was always sending me stuff, and, you know, I always watch it. And, yeah, I mean, it's definitely interesting. I mean, shit, if that is 2013, and they can somehow verify that metadata.
Exactly. I mean, I think it was,
then
you can see on his YouTube channel that he released it in 2013. His YouTube channel's still up.
No, I'm saying, but the actual the actual file itself with the effects, with the beam, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
all that.
True.
With the metadata would definitely go a long way. You know what I'm saying? Because again, that can verify that there was no manipulation, there was no after effects, there was nothing else really thrown on top. You know?
Shout out to Tucson in the chat. Dan K says, did they tell us aliens existed like 4 years ago and nobody cared? Yeah, and they told us again like 3 months ago and 3 months before. They keep telling us. I don't know why we're pretending like they're unidentified. I don't know. Big A's always skeptical. Says the beam from UFO to the car is a classic movie thing. Actual aliens probably wouldn't do that. 2016, man. I don't know. All right. Well, that was just the warm up for our paranormal topic.
That was cool though.
Yeah.
That was
I feel like if that's one of the videos that the government released and was like, no, and nobody's seen it yet, and they're like, this is proof, people might be like, okay, you got me.
Well, it also verified another one of his, I think.
Oh, really?
I forgot from where. Yeah.
Like I
it
said,
like
he
a Navy or
was
something.
instrumental in getting the TikTok video out there, or the Tic Tac UFO video. JK says, you guys believe the Netflix specials on aliens, or you think those people are actors? Which one? There's millions of them. Pretty good actors if they are. It's hard to
I think
say.
there's some truth to a lot of it, but sometimes they stretch it.
I've seen like police videos of people like giving their story, telling exactly what happened. I'm like, all right, I 100% believe this, and then find out a week later, no, that was the person who was actually with the murderer or something. I'm like, man, they were convincing. So it's hard for me to take somebody's word on anything. That's why I need proof. All right, y'all. Now we're gonna get into the good stuff. Now, this is one of these paranormal topics that it's more of a conspiracy theory. I didn't really want to put this out in public because I'm worried about the ramifications. I just want y'all to know ahead of time, everybody in chat, me and MoKnowz are not suicidal and will not be suicidal. Once we give y'all this information, I mean, we might get in trouble.
I verify that.
We might get taken down. All right, we're going to talk
the
about
happiest person you've ever seen.
The real conspiracy theory that they don't want y'all talking about. Are pandas real? Did you know that pandas don't even show up in Chinese literature or history at all until like the 20th century? You would think if you had giant pandas running around in your country in the last 5,000 years, at some point somebody would have wrote it down or made, pictures of it, made it into, there's, okay, let me give y'all some evidence here. Let me go ahead, let me convince you first. Calm down. Point number one. Do they not fall over constantly for no reason? Like, it's a big giant bear. How does it not have any center of gravity? They almost never reproduce. Don't they reproduce like once a year?
Alcoholics fall over constantly. They're real.
They're real, but they're drunk. That's not all.
They're
I've
really
got
drunk.
more proof. Y'all think I wouldn't come to you all with some proof?
I'm here for it.
All right, here we go. They spend 16 hours a day eating bamboo. Nothing else on this planet eats bamboo. What is bamboo for? I don't even understand. But for some reason, they eat it all day, every day. And then here's the good one. Nobody ever sees them in the wild. Where do you see pandas at? In a zoo? That's where you see them. You don't see them in the wild. Why is that? Are they even real? Is it some type of conspiracy that China has created? A lot of believers in UFOs and aliens are likely citing experiences from when they were in REM sleep and a sleep paralysis. Yeah, but that's a good argument. I mean, a good excuse for a lot of things that happen. I felt like I saw a ghost when I was in college, and a lot of people could say it was REM sleep because it was right when I was laying down into bed. But to me, myself, I'm pretty sure I know what I saw. I feel it in my bones. It wasn't no hallucination. All right, I'm not done.
So UFOs, aliens, real. Pandas, fake. Is that where we're leading so far?
That's where I'm at. That's just
Okay.
me. That's just my own personal feeling.
Just checking in. Okay.
Zoos are trading them around. What kind of commodity? What kind of animal gets treated like a commodity like that? And how can a bear be so cute, so big and so cute? Is there any other animal that's that big and cute? Grizzlies ain't cute. I'm just saying.
It can be cute until they're ripping your face off, but I have seen some pretty cute interactions.
I've heard you say Leo Sprinkle a couple times. Now I'm afraid to look him up. Shout out to Thane who's in the chat. Good to see you, my man. My 1-year-old falls over constantly, but these are grown-ass pandas. They're giant pandas, actually. I'm just saying.
I mean, I don't even know how I don't do too much research on pandas, but I did look into this a little bit when you mentioned it. I guess they've been around for millions of years. But when I look at a panda, and I used to play what's called Planet Zoo, it's like a game on PC where you run a zoo, it's like a simulation.
I think I've heard of that.
Yeah. And dude, that was always one of my favorite attractions to get, was to build a panda exhibit, put a bunch of cool interaction, enrichment toys and shit, and they were so fun to just watch around. But I had them encaged.
Probably brings a lot of girls. Girls love pandas.
What are you trying to say?
I'm just saying that's how you get the girls there. Dan K says, what about dragons? I mean, there's a lot of, not only are there a lot of dragons in mythology in China, but also all around the world is stuff that seems like they could be dragons. And the way they have the dragons, they do the parades where there's 20 or 30 people holding up one little long dragon. It's almost like a snake dragon. I feel like that came from somewhere.
New Year and shit.
Yeah, where did that come from? What did they see to make them think those were dragons?
From their history. It's from, like I said, the same way we talk about all origin stories for different ancient civilizations, man. They all have very similar stories, you know what I'm saying? Where it comes with someone came, whether it was on a serpent in the sea or a flying dragon, or there's all different sorts of representation. This person or, this culture shows up, teaches them the way, disappears, says they'll come back or whatever, and then a crazy flood happens, right?
They write it down and they make pictures, they tell stories, but what they didn't make pictures of or tell stories of are giant pandas in China. Wow.
I am what's it, hard stricken? I'm hard up to find a picture of an ancient panda. Not gonna lie.
Wow. C-Spill says if you squint your eyes early in the morning when you just wake up, you can see them. That sounds legit. Kung Fu Panda, that's a good movie. Big A says not so sus since sloths also exist and are 1,000% less competent. How did sloths survive evolution? How did cows survive evolution? They're so slow and delicious. Mushrooms.
Yeah, I mean sloths. Seen one cross a road. Comical. Also, there's I forgot where it was recently. There's a seal that breaks out every now and then. He goes crazy through the town, and he takes forever to get across the road. He blocks traffic, and it's actually pretty crazy. But he basically he gets out of his enclosure somehow, and he goes and destroys the town. But these things happen.
Split says, why are aliens attracted to trailer homes? Because they got that tractor, they got that beam that they pull cows up with. You can't pull up a whole house with that. You can get a trailer though, a tractor trailer, a double wide maybe.
Good point.
All right, let's
on. Is he saying alien technology isn't strong enough to dislodge a house?
Depends on what planet they come from. I don't know.
If that's the case, I don't know if I want them to show up. I thought they'd be more powerful,
We want the good ones.
They're gonna save us. Yeah.
All right, let's move to sports. I've got a topic to talk about on all three major sports today. First one, of course, being basketball, because we got to talk about LeBron James. LeBron James has signed with the Philadelphia 76ers, who also this offseason signed Jaylen Brown, who was just the NBA Finals MVP a couple years ago and a top 20, maybe a top 10 player. So a lot of people are saying this is a super team. Other people look at the team more like this because LeBron's 42 and Joel Embiid is always injured. However, their starting five is amazing, though. Like I said, Jaylen Brown, they got Joel Embiid, they got LeBron. They got B.J. Edgecombe, which was one of the top rookies last year and was really good in the playoffs. And then they got their point guard. I don't know, how am I forgetting his name? He was an all-star too, and he's really good, and he's fast too. I don't know why I can't remember his name right now, though.
Can't rely on me to give you basketball names, you know that. But
Danny says, Dragon from China come of dinosaurs' bones back then. I know, I feel like a lot of times they say that they found dragon bones, but then you could be like, it's a pterodactyl. Just like bugs and heat, intergalactic travel, many times speed of light, no problem. Beam through shingle roof. I mean, they're not used to our technology. How would they know how to? You might be onto something. I'm just putting what ifs out there for you. Jaylen Brown will lead them to the title. A lot of people are wondering who's going to get the ball the most. Some people say it's going to be Embiid. I think Embiid's going to be injured all the time, so it probably will be Jaylen Brown.
Funny. Sorry, Big A's comment just gave me a funny bit in my head, like the old Simpsons, like the aliens when they're like sitting up in space watching.
Yeah.
Like they zip through, right? Like light years traveling through, boom, boom, fucking blink of an eye, and they're like, "Motherfucker, you mean to tell me we got here in 30 seconds, but we can't rip up this house?"
It's
go back.
Logical thinking, and I like it. All right, so some people are saying that LeBron.
Real quick though,
real
quick on your LeBron. You want to talk about the 5? I'd rather have Jalen Brunson, Kai Bridges, Anunoby, Josh Hart, Karl Anthony Towns. You know who that is?
Never heard of him.
That's my New York Knicks. That's my New York Knicks. Let it be known. Don't ever go back and watch the old shows about, whether or not I'm a Knicks fan. But those are my New York Knicks. I claim those. Okay?
The Knicks are going to have a hard time making the playoffs this year. The East is packed. You got Giannis Antetokounmpo done went to the Miami Heat, and Tyrese Halliburton is back with my Indiana Pacers. However, the argument here that a lot of people are making, including Charles Barkley, is that LeBron James is just chasing rings, and you can't be the GOAT if you're just jumping on super teams to get rings. And then some other people have, they're LeBron lovers like my kid is, and they're like, well, if you look at all the teams that he actually went to, they weren't winning teams. But the Heat, though, whenever he went to the Heat, they had just gotten Chris Bosh, and they already had Dwayne
It's like
Wade.
they brought guys with him. He enticed dudes to come with him. I mean, Jordan's the GOAT. It's easy. Jordan's the fucking GOAT.
I knew Tucson was going to be loving this because he's a 76ers fan, and now he's got the 76ers super team. I don't want to hear nothing about it. Rob T says Topps Chrome basketball update releases on Thursday. I've got some Topps Chrome baseball to open today. Dan K says, what does it matter when OKC will just destroy? Bro, you're crazy. You think, okay, what about San Antonio Spurs? San Antonio Spurs are going to win the next 3 championships. I don't care where LeBron goes. Nobody is beating Wemby, and he's got a whole squad of young talent. You heard it here first.
I don't know
for
who
a
they
long
lost.
time.
I don't know who they lost or who they got. I don't really follow the basketball. But the T-Wolves, didn't they play the Spurs in the playoffs? Pretty sure they did.
Yep. And
I actually thought they played very well. I thought that was a team, by watching them play and spread the ball around and the shots they took, I thought that was actually a pretty damn good-looking team.
You know who they picked up on the offseason, bro? They got LaMelo Ball. He is a hooper.
Did they get LaMelo? Okay.
I think so, if I'm not mistaken.
Ball a little bit.
I'm pretty sure. And if so,
his dad would run his mouth less, but
his
his
dad does talk a lot. Denge says OKC Dynasty. You're crazy, bro. Their dynasty is over. Chet is a little soft, and he's scared of Wemby. Name 4 bench players, Mo. For what team? Big A says, can't wait for NFL to rejoin your sports
Move
segment.
on.
We've got
Move
NFL.
on. Next topic.
Shout out to Ali
I'm a diehard Knicks
Alejandro's in
fan,
the
by
chat.
the way.
Good to see you,
Diehard
Ali.
Knicks fan.
He says LeBron is washed up. He's chasing another ring. That's what a lot of people think. I mean, is he going to be able to beat the GOAT? He's played like 23 years now. Jordan only played like 9 seasons. But then
took
again,
off, went to play baseball, won 3, took off to play baseball, came back, won another 3. It's like, come on, dude.
I know it's hard to beat
Right?
that.
6-0 in the fucking finals. I mean, it's just, by me, again, I just did this recently. I like going back and watching like younger people that like do YouTube content, React content.
Yeah.
And they'll watch like Jordan for the first time.
Yeah, Larry Bird for the first
Like,
time.
yeah, and like watching them watch Jordan, like they always start with the dunks and they start with the tongue and the lip and all this shit, and they're like, oh man, this guy's crazy, but I probably can't play defense. And then they show the defensive portion. They're like, oh my god, this guy played defense like that, and they can't comprehend how good he was.
Yeah, he was like defensive all NBA defense like many times.
Many
Still
times.
says,
And
is Topps Chrome
hey,
the best top set right now? I would say no.
for baseball.
Don't they have like some of those top of the line sets like Select?
Well, for baseball they have like Premier and Prestige and Black and all that shit. But for most common collectors, Chrome is like what you want. So if you go back and look at like Ohtani's and Judges and stuff like that of the highest jumping value, typically top Chrome.
Yeah, that's usually
The
my
exception
favorite.
might be, again, certain Ohtani cards that kind of got snuck in late. and they were paper, they were cardboard, but they were like photoshopped of him with an Angels jersey. Very, very rare, limited print. So
nice.
Cards like that will hold value.
Rob T says Wilt Chamberlain is the real GOAT. If you ask me who the actual real GOAT, the best basketball player of all time, I will always tell you it is Shaquille freaking O'Neal. Tucson says the 76ers did beat those Celtics in the upset this year, and this was before they made the big move. 2 big moves, not just one. Alejandro says the Spurs added Tobias Harris. I know, and he's good too. I think that's a solid add. I think they need to get rid of De'Aaron Fox. He blew it for them, man. We got bad feelings. Dan K says Big A, college was so much better than the NFL, but this transfer portal has ruined NCAA. College ball is a joke. We're going to talk about baseball, actually, which I don't talk about baseball a lot on here. However, before we do, I just wanted to put this out there. What if MJ was like LeBron and he decided to go and join the Spurs? Like, how many rings would he have then? I mean, he can't get more rings than he already has. However, think about a super team.
I mean, well, he went to the Wizards, and I think Jordan's idea, and don't forget that Jordan turned that Wizards team around too before he got hurt.
He brought in Kwame Brown, but Kwame was kind of a dud.
No, but I'm saying, but when he went there, I'm saying that team was like 16 and fucking 60 something. Do the math to 82. You know, but then he came in and they were on the verge of making a sick run to the playoffs, and he got hurt. They fell apart. I think either just missed the playoffs or they took the 8th seed and got eliminated, some shit. But either way, when Jordan was there, that Wizards team even got turned around with Kwame Brown, who, as we all know, turned out to be nothing in the league.
I wonder how how old Jordan was when he played for the Wizards. Probably like mid-30s, like 8 years before LeBron now. And LeBron is still one of the top 20 players at this age. So I don't know. Maybe there is a little bit of argument to be made of him as the GOAT. But like he said, winning 3 championships in a row, taking a year off, and then winning 3 more. But he did have Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman. It's a tough.
Oh, he had Tony Kukoc. He had Steve Kerr. He had fucking Luke Longley. Yeah, listen, you want to talk? I could actually name a lot of the bench guys that came up and came off the bench for the Bulls. Dude, that was my squad, bro.
Have you guys seen this video?
You know.
All right, I'll turn the sound. I'll turn the sound off. It's just all you can hear is his yacht. So this was a video that went viral on Twitter and a lot of other social media sites of Tom Brady driving around in his yacht. And I was looking at some of the replies and the quote tweets about it. This guy says, "With 0 friends or family is so sad." And then this person was like, "He's all alone. You can have it all, but he's all alone." And another person was like, talking about how he's a billionaire, most successful football player all the time, but he's so sad. Me personally, I just want to bring this up to say, y'all stupid. He is doing just fine.
Yeah, I mean, I see him all over the place, dude. Like, he's getting ready for the season. He's on Fox. He's one of the best young fucking analysts I think I've heard in a long fucking time.
If he wanted people on that boat, people would pay him to be on that boat.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Like, these people
I'm just saying, it's not like he was sitting in his fucking shower crying before he got on his fucking boat alone. You know what I mean? That's crazy, bro.
I know, I was cracking up reading the replies. Just start minor leagues for sports. College sports are stupid. I used to watch college sports, not much lately. Big A says never been a big college football fan, but I will watch when LSU does well. That Joe Burrow season was so much fun.
That's my guy.
Oh,
that's
Burrow.
My guy.
Rob T says the Ohtani 1-of-1 back-to-back gold logo autograph relics card was pulled. Oh no! I just saw a tweet today saying that it was still available, and I thought maybe it's a different card. There's an Ohtani 1-of-1 Topps Chrome that I saw a tweet today from Topps saying it was still available. Could be in this box. Probably not though. Tucson says college sports are for sports fans are losers. College sports fans are losers. Most of them are college students. So you're saying college students are losers, bro? Come on. Alejandro says Topps NBA Chrome update released today. I thought it was released on Thursday, but they want $600 for a hobby box. It might be worth it. I ain't paying that much for no hobby box. I think there's a $2 million bounty for the Cooper flag. They told me at the card shop today that on Thursday a new set comes out with the new NBA rookies. So I kind of want to check that out. I know my kid wants to open some of those packs. But let's move on.
Yeah, it's a Chrome update, but yeah.
Let's move on to baseball. The Dodgers have just signed this C.Y. Young, really young pitcher named Turk Skubal. And
Skubal. Yeah.
Skubal, yeah. And apparently they were trying to pick up
Tariq Skubal, sorry.
They were trying to pick up another guy that's one of the top pitchers right now, and people are like getting mad about how they're just buying everybody. Some people said they're going to try to clone Pete Rose, and I saw where they were going to get like Derek Jeter to come back or something. And the owner says that when you ask him about it, he's like, we're not stopping. We're going to just keep on adding more. We're going to make it so nobody wants to play the Dodgers. So these dudes are like the new Yankees, but they're outdoing the Yankees. And there's a problem with the whole market cap that the baseball uses. I don't even think they have a market cap, but these other teams are not willing to spend the money.
Based on like market size and shit.
Right. And you saw
You
the
have to
Dodgers
spend a
went and
certain
got
amount to get a
Ohtani.
luxury tax.
They spent a bunch and went and got Ohtani, and he got them a World Series. So they're like, we're just going to keep on buying people left and right. It was Paul Skeens. They almost traded for Paul Skeens yesterday, which was the trade deadline. So
that would have been insane. That would have been nuts, dude.
4 of their 5 starting pitchers are C.Y. Young award winners, and they're all young.
Is it CY? I always thought it was Cy Young. I thought it was the guy's name, the little pitcher, Cy Young.
Cy Young, C.Y. Young? Yeah, Cy Young. Whatever. My bad.
I could be wrong on that, but
That
was an actual pitcher from back in the day.
But it's from like played in like the 1930s. I got one of those Pinnacle $4.99 used pin sets. Has a 4xd in value. Oh, 4x in value. Let's go. We're gonna talk about another card that has 4x in value when we get to collectibles. Scooble, yeah, the Dodgers have already picked him up. They already have a picture of him in a Dodgers uniform. All right, let's move on to our favorite
that's a done
topic.
deal.
Let's get into politics. And as usual, we start off politics with whatever the dumbest quote of Trump was for that week. Now, we weren't live last week, so we got 2 whole weeks to choose from. That made it tough. So we got a couple runner-ups. Runner-up number 1, Trump did say that when he owned the Miss Universe pageant, that Miss Venezuela always did really well. So because of that, he knows a lot about the country. I'm not sure what logic we're using there, but that was just a runner-up. Second runner-up, he did say...
he's a people person. You know what I'm saying? He gets to know the contestants. He gets to know the ladies. You know, he knows all about it. He knows everything in the world.
So that means he knows the country? Okay.
He knows it all. He knows the economics. He knows the culture. You didn't know that by meeting someone?
He even knows soccer.
He even knows soccer.
And then there's another runner-up. He did threaten to tariff Texas, apparently, but, probably can't do that, especially since the tariffs have been ruled illegal. All right, so here's your winner, though, for the dumbest quote.
I had a wonderful father, right? And he was a hard worker. He was in the real estate business. And for him, super luxury. This is all he didn't want planes. They didn't have planes in those days, I don't think.
Yes, you heard him right. He said they didn't have planes when his dad was alive. His dad died in 1999. So... to me, I thought maybe, that should be the winner because, like, what the hell are you talking about? But even worse than that, I don't know how this happened. I don't know if you saw this, Mo. A lot of people didn't see this. I feel like they tried to hide it. I don't know if he deleted it, but for some reason, Donald Trump tweeted this meme. Now, this meme, if you look closely, is a picture of Barack Obama in OJ's Bronco with Melania hugged up on him, waving, giving the finger to Donald Trump behind him. Donald Trump's in the car behind him, hugged up with Satan from South Park. And Donald Trump's the one who tweeted this.
Isn't that the fat version of J.D. Vance in the other car?
No, if you watch South Park, and the South Park shows, Trump is married. I don't know if he's married to Satan, but I know they're having a baby together, but I think it got aborted. I haven't been keeping up with it. But yeah, I don't understand why Trump himself would tweet this because it doesn't look good for him.
I think people love it. I mean, I don't personally enjoy it that much, but people love it. And that's what's fucked up.
Tucson says, anywhere you go when you find old politicians, it's in ghetto towns. Old politicians in ghetto towns? Places where people don't vote enough, maybe. All right. Like Big A said at the beginning, we have to talk about the reflecting pool. If you haven't heard already, the Justice Department has decided to dismiss charges against former Olympian David Hearn, and in the dismissal, they acknowledge that damage to the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool was the result of flawed installation by the contractor. So it wasn't vandalism, according to the Department of Justice. Oops, sorry. You can see here that this was the actual court filing where they decided to dismiss the charges and admit that it was not vandalism that caused it. Now, Trump is still saying that it was vandalism. Let's look at a compilation of Trump's comments on what happened to the reflecting pool.
We had vandalism. No, vandals. It was all, we have I think 290, 300-foot slit right through it. Probably a box cutter or a knife of some kind.
Somebody went in with a knife and cut it. They cut it up good. And then they cut a 200, 350-foot slip
in the form of lots of little slips, real horrible stuff. They took razors and they started cutting this, very expensive stuff. We caught some people vandalizing our beautiful reflecting pool. They tried to destroy it. They cut it up with a box knife and tried to destroy it.
I tend to lean more towards vandalism, but we'll find out.
As you can see, that was Mo's comment on it. Whenever I said that he said that he thought it was vandalism, his actual comment was, I tend to lean more towards vandalism, but we'll find out. So he didn't necessarily say that it was vandalism, but I'm still going to keep the scoreboard up because there's a cool graphic. Let's play it one more time.
I think it's important, again, you could take that one little clip, or you can actually go back and watch the show. From not even that one, I think it was even a couple weeks ago prior. This is why you let the process play out, right? Lebron said it before he went. He said, trust the process. If you trust the process and it didn't happen, then the truth shall set you free.
So wait, are you saying now that it wasn't vandalism? Because Donald Trump still says it was vandalism. He still thinks that the former Olympian should go to jail for 10 years, and apparently Jeanine Pirro was going to be getting fired. He was already saying that she dropped the ball on this. So according to the guy you voted for to be president, he still believes it is vandalism.
He says a lot of dumb shit. But anyway, I said that if I sat there, and I probably spent more time than DOJ, Trump, and anybody else in the government, I sat there and watched the 24/7 feed, which you can go back and scrub through, by the way. And I said, okay, well, if the idea from contractors is, well, the 24 to 72 hour curing process is the most important time, well, guess what? The only thing that happened in that time is when Trump fucking drove over it. And we talked about that. And that was the clip I thought you had. But we talked about it, that if the curing process is 24 to 72 and he drove over it like 36 hours later, well, then that could be a big fucking problem. And from what they said now, it's 10% of the liner that needs to get replaced. Oddly enough, it's about the same size if you take that fucking SUV and you roll it down, it's about 10%.
Yeah.
So,
and I did go back and watch some of the other ones. I wanted to find more incriminating evidence that you said that it was vandalism, but like you said, all I found was you saying that it could have been vandalism, but it could have also been him driving over it, which, in my opinion,
what I didn't like is that when people are trying to protect it, and all the algae people are there, and there are people trying to jump in and throw shit in, and that's what I was like, yo, throw those people in jail. If you're there after the fact, throw those motherfuckers in jail, because now they're just getting in the way. But as far as what happened prior to that, I never went out on the limb and said, oh, I thought that was vandalism. Because I, again,
like you said, 7 different people got arrested for it. And a lot of them were getting arrested for, like, reaching their hand down and pulling out some of the paint that was already, like, halfway torn up, or a house where
they should have done that. They should have went and got somebody and been like, hey, listen, I think there's a problem here.
Do you think they should have went to jail for that?
No, they could have. After 9/11, we had a thing, right? See something, say something, right? Like, you see somebody drop a suspicious package at an airport, go get a fucking authority and let them know. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not our responsibility. Like, oh, let me dive in here and rip the thing up. Were they trying to vandalize it? No, maybe not. I don't think they really were, especially the Olympian guy.
Right.
But just go tell somebody. Just go tell somebody, like, hey, listen, I think this shit's peeling up. Y'all take a look at it.
There's officials standing around it nowadays all the time, but back then I don't necessarily know that there were. I know I was just recently there not too long ago, maybe 4 or 5 months ago, and there definitely weren't no officials or anybody that I would be able to tell at the time whenever I walked up there, and that's probably how it was for him, before.
Well, the tape with the Olympian, they were actually pressing him at, like, one of the corners, and then he went, like, to the side, I think is where they said he was, like, pulling it up. But again, I don't think he was trying to pull it up to be,
right,
nefarious or whatever. I don't think that was...
I would have
pulled
it up and put it on eBay. You could probably put that on eBay, get a couple thousand. Soapy Smith says, falsely accusing someone by providing false evidence to a grand jury is not letting the process play out. Big A says, I researched these coatings for my garage, and it's like likely.
No, but it's on tape 24/7. All you do is go back and watch the fucking video. Just go back and watch the video.
Big A is right. I mean, they did say in the court filing that it was because of a bad job by the contractor. And if you remember, the contractor was somebody that Trump knew. And I wanted to pull this clip, but I didn't pull it. You can actually see a clip of Trump before the reflecting pool happened, saying, I know a pool guy. I'm going to get my own contractor to do it. And now, just yesterday, whenever they asked him about it, he was like, I don't know who the contractor is. It was their fault. I don't know who did it. So it was like some guy that did it to get some extra money because it was some kickback, and he did a shitty job because he was saving money, and here we are. Tucson says there's a ton of evidence that shoddy workmanship. Yeah, exactly.
Like I said, as of right now, they said 10% of it needs to be redone. We'll see. Again, they They could try to lie to us, but the proof is in front of us. We'll see how much they rip up. We'll see how much they put
Yeah,
down.
and Trump
but the
keeps saying
10%,
he has this video of somebody actually slicing it. He keeps saying it in news conferences.
That I'd never believe.
He
That I'd
hasn't
never
shown the
believe.
video. I don't know if anybody believes him. All right, if you live in Texas, you should know that laws just changed regarding THC starting last Friday. There's new laws, restrictions on particular hemp THC products. Mo, you want to talk about this one? I've got some graphics of what's banned and what's still legal. The stuff that's still legal, I'll show in a second, is not much. And I don't know nothing about the Delta 8, Delta 10 stuff. I didn't even know there was 2 different Deltas. So I don't know. What do you think about it?
Yeah, so I mean, Texas has never really been like pro weed or anything like that.
It seems like a pro weed state to me. I'm surprised, honestly. I don't know why. It seems like
Yeah, I
freedom,
mean-
you know. Texas is like a freedom place. Everybody can carry guns. You can't have a joint.
I wonder if that was always a concern, though. Like, yo, listen, we're such a gun-heavy
True.
fucking state. Maybe we shouldn't have people just rolling around smoking weed all the time. But they sit around and drink beers and, you know, go to fucking shooting targets in their backyard. But, I mean, listen, so recreational weed, I think, has always been and still is. Medical cannabis, I think there is a small medical cannabis thing in Texas, but what they ban now is like all these weird Delta 8, Delta 10s, and like the THCA, right? I don't know what the THCP is actually. But I actually like the ban, but I think you just need to like legalize actual weed. Like just legalize it, tax it, make a profit, do the
How
vice
can you
tax
legalize
that we
weed
talked
and
about.
ban THC? That don't work.
No, but you have to ban these products because
Oh.
these products are manipulated. I'm saying these are not pure. Have you ever heard of like croton or croton or something like
Kratom?
that? It's like
Yeah.
kratom. Yeah, it's like, bro, my pops was living in Maryland and he couldn't get weed. He was like, yeah, grab this shit from fucking the gas station. Told me what it was. I'm like, yo, pops, do not fucking smoke this, man.
You smoke that stuff? I've heard of kratom. I thought it was like a pill you take, but people at first, when it first came out, said like this stuff is super natural. It's very good for you. It's definitely okay to take. I definitely never took any of it. I think it was supposed to be for like, I want to say for like working out or something. And then afterwards, like a month or 2 later, you started hearing stories about people getting addicted to it, like really, really strung out on this stuff. So that's all I know about it. I've never seen it.
Yeah, no, it's a flower. It looks like incense, smells like incense. Some people will say it gets you high, but if you read the testimony, it is not good for you. Tucson, Texas does have a small, what's it called, compassionate use program, which is basically what I got my card with in California, where they legalize the shit. But anyway, again, I think you should just legalize weed, like pure THC weed, regulate it, tax it, you know, put back to the communities, the roads, the schools, all that good stuff, because it would pay for all that. Ex-Colorado, man, and a lot of these states that have legalized it. Taxpayers are paying minimal at that point because everything's being covered. You know what I'm saying? And they love it. But this shit's bad, bro. Like all these vapes and all these Delta 8s, I don't trust any of it, bro. They're extracting it from hemp, but you don't know what they're doing to it after the fact.
Yeah, I don't know what
And this shit is not regulated. It's
like
not
it.
fucking, none of it's being sent for like lab testing. If there is, it's like some bullshit fucking label that you find on there. I don't know, man. I'm actually for the ban, but I think it's just a bigger picture of like, let's just legalize weed federally already, and they're already talking about doing it.
Trump even said he was going to do it, but he never did. All this good stuff
Yeah.
he says he's going to do, he never does.
Yeah, I know.
Big A
But-
says Texas has the country's best cancer hospital. They saved my dad with stage 4 lymphoma. That must be good if you were able to save him at stage 4. I think that's like really far along in the process. Tucson says Dallas is full of great hospitals. Oil trash love their hospitals. You mean like the oil tycoons are from Texas? That makes sense. Yeah. Medical weed. Oh yeah. What's up? Grandma Moore says there are several medicinal reasons to legalize. Epilepsy can be controlled. Yeah, and you should legalize it and let people treat themselves with it. If it's something small like social anxiety, people treat social anxiety with marijuana, but they don't want to go to the hospital or they want to go to a doctor. They have social anxiety. So if you legalize marijuana, they can treat themselves, which, you know.
There are so many quote unquote illnesses that these, you know, I don't want to say kids, because kids should never be smoking weed. I'm never going to go for that. But when you're like putting these kids on Ritalin and all these other sorts of fucking medications and then they get hooked on it, I think a lot of these, when they turn 18 or get to the legal age, can be like, hey, you know what? Smoke a little weed. I feel good. Balances me out. You know what I'm saying? I don't fucking have like these weird symptoms. I don't rely on fucking medication like that. And as someone who smoked weed habitually since I was 15, because my pops pulled me aside because all my friends used to fucking do coke, fucking mushrooms, acid, everything, you name it.
That's New York.
I never did. Yeah, I never did. I used to fuck with mushrooms and acid a little bit, more mushrooms. But, you know, when it came to weed, my dad was like, yo, you smoking weed? And at the time, I just kind of started, and I was like, no, I'm smoking cigarettes, though. He's like, all right, but here's the deal. He's like, smoke weed, it's all right. I've been smoking weed my whole life. I put a roof over your head, yada, yada, yada. My dad did a good job as a single father. You know, smoked weed every day, went to work every day, came home every day, put a fucking, you know, meal on the table every day, all that good stuff. But he was like, that's what I did. He's like, I haven't catch you with anything else in this house, you're a fucking dead man. and you know what? Never touched coke, never touched heroin, never touched crack.
It's a good
you know what I'm
thing,
saying?
dude.
Like,
Yeah, kept you out of the
it worked.
really bad stuff.
It worked. It gave me a little bit of, you know, get out of jail free card with the weed. Some people could argue like, it promotes laziness, and yeah, but you know what? You can eat too many cupcakes and get fat and become lazy. Like if you rely too much on anything in this world, it's no good for you. So,
True. Yeah.
anyway, that was a rant, Big A. Fuck you.
One other thing I want to mention about the THC bans is that a lot of people say that it's the alcohol industry. They have a lot of power, they have a lot of money, and people are drinking less because they're smoking more. So they're working to lobby politicians to outlaw marijuana and anything related to it so that people will drink more, which I would think people are better off if they smoke more than drinking more. It's obviously better for them and for society.
You're not wrong, and actually, I'm sure it still happens today, but I think that a lot of the stigma around weed has kind of disappeared at this point.
True.
But back in the day, coming out of prohibition with alcohol and stuff, right, when they were trying to get it back integrated into the market, that's when there was a lot of money, a lot of smear campaigns going against marijuana. That's also when you had like Reefer Madness, right? Like you had all these films and stuff. It was basically just propaganda trying to scare the shit out of young people from smoking weed. And what else would they do? They're going to drink. You know what I mean? It was very, very easy for them to try to do that. But anyway.
Man, Reefer Madness, that was a classic. It still holds up. It's good stuff. All right, like I mentioned at the beginning, we're going to talk about Sophie Cunningham. That is the Indiana Fever forward. I think she's a forward. The little blonde chick. She's been going around talking about how she doesn't believe that transgender women should play in women's sports, and because of that, she's become a hero of the right wing. Although I don't necessarily know that she is right wing. Although I have seen her go to some right wing events. Maybe she is. Maybe she isn't.
It ain't liberal.
But just the other day, she was playing in a game. I don't remember which team it was, but they booed her the entire game. Every time she touched the ball, big giant boos, and it's all because of her take on no men and women's sports. So I'll give you all my take on it because this is one that I always give my take on because although I'm far left, this is the one where I disagree with everybody on the far left. And if I ever try to join a far left community and this topic comes up, I get kicked out of the community because they say I'm a bigot and I'm a horrible person for believing the way I do. But the way I look at it, I've always said that it seems like biology is male, female, gender is man, woman. So a male cannot have a baby, but a man can have a baby. A female living as a man could have a baby. So I'm pro-transgender rights, and I do think it is a civil rights issue. But when you get to sports, I think basketball is the perfect example. You can watch the NBA and compare it with the WNBA yourself. I watched a video on YouTube not too long ago where it was WNBA players versus middle school all-stars, and the middle school all-stars kicked their ass. So if you're going to have guys who can play sports and pretend like they're trans, and it's going to eventually have a financial incentive, because if you have a bunch of great basketball players one year and one of them is transgender and all the other great basketball players get college scholarship offers and you don't give the transgender athlete a college scholarship offer, then what's going to happen? They're going to say, oh, you're being a bigot. You're not giving the transgender athlete the same thing that all the other athletes are getting. Why? So now you have to give them a scholarship. So now you've just added a financial incentive. So the counter argument would be, well, nobody pretends to be transgender. Are you telling me that with a financial incentive, you don't think anybody would ever pretend to be transgender so that they could be the best?
Oh, that was my point a year ago with you. I told you.
I've always had this stance.
I know, but it's nice to hear you fucking say it, okay?
Yeah, that's the way
nice to hear you say it.
Yeah.
You don't think parents are going to be breeding and fucking grooming their kids to want to be trans, that they can get a quick buck because they realize their son's terrible at basketball, or maybe he can make it to WNBA? It's going to happen.
Or even worse, a parent could think that it's so important for their kid to go to college that they trick their kid into thinking that they're transgender. So that they,
too.
You know what I'm saying? I mean,
yes,
when you put a financial
too.
incentive to it, it just makes no sense at all. And if you go in there and try to have a debate about it, they have nothing to stand on, but they'll get mad
Hell
at
no.
you. I mean, I'm like, do you want to talk science? Do you want to talk biology? I mean, do you want to look at it from a future standpoint of what would happen if we allowed this? Because eventually what you're going to have is the first ever transgender, all transgender starting lineup. And then what's
TBA,
gonna
no,
happen?
just make the league. Just make the TBA league, bro. The Trans Baller Association.
That's what it would lead
It's
to,
so
exactly.
easy.
And then you would have a biological women's league too. So it makes no sense.
But Big A actually brought up a good point. I think it was Big A. Usually makes some good points. Some I agree with, most I don't. But when it comes to, actually no, it might have been Tucson. Yeah, no, it was Big A. Never mind. I'm gonna say the point. At a younger age, right? So you have like Pee Wee football, for instance.
Right.
You might have like female, players that are out there on the line catching balls, but these aren't fully, developed people, right? They're not fully developed humans. So like at that age, I feel like, all right, you let the girls out there, they play, and then sometimes they get older, they go to high school, they become a kicker, right? Like Sophie Cunningham was actually your school kicker,
Yep.
and she won like prom queen the same day or some shit, right?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, so I think, up until a certain point when biology really starts to kick in, and, again, especially that Pee Wee football age, maybe middle school is like when it starts to evolve. Yeah, I think you should probably draw the line there.
Well,
but I mean,
people
that's
hit
my
puberty
girl,
at different
man.
times, and whenever somebody came with that argument about Sophie Cunningham, like it's okay that she was a kicker and on her team's high school football team, I said no, because if we're gonna go biology only, then it has to apply the other way too. Girls can't play on boys' sports. I mean, you got to be fair about it, in my opinion.
But they've always been allowed. Because again, it's they're stepping up in class. They're not stepping
but
down.
Still, you want to separate biology instead of gender so that there's no confusion there. But then again, there's no women's football, so I mean,
Well,
it's not as big of a
that's
deal. It's not as big as.
But that was the argument in our districts, right? Is that if there are no female sports and it's typically a non-contact position like a kicker,
Right.
even though kickers can't get hit, typically they'll allow it because again, it's kind of like when you punch up in comedy, it's accepted.
I've seen
when
it
you
before
punch
around
down
here
in
too.
comedy.
I've seen girls kickers around here before. Big
Yeah,
A says that.
I'm not saying it's only around here. I'm just saying that I know in certain districts, if there were no women's, sports for that specific sport like football, they would allow it on certain case basis. But basketball, there's a women's basketball team. So
True.
if the women wanted to go play basketball, that's where they went. The boys wanted to go play basketball, that's where they went.
And
I
like
mean,
one of my favorite
you know.
commenters, the left-wing commenters, is Kyle Kalinske. And every time he talks about it, he's like, "So you're saying that transgenders can't play sports at all?" And it's like, no, we're not saying that. They can still play, but they have to play by their biology. So
Yeah.
the people on the left are just so far off of this. And then if you sit there and try to bring it up in the first place, they'll be like, why are you even talking about it? It's not a top 10 issue. It's not even a top 30 issue. And every time I tell them, it's not a top 10 issue to you, but it is definitely a top 10 issue to every MAGA. All of them.
I mean, for me, it's really never even an issue. It's always an issue of when there's a conversation with someone on the left that they just dive into it. And I'm always like, why? Just come up with a good,
Well, no,
policy for...
I haven't heard you say it, but a lot of people that I argue with on Twitter, that's one of the first things they'll bring up. They're like,
Well, I'm
you don't even
sure,
know what a
because-
woman is.
Yeah, I'm sure. And again, I'm going to send you something at the end of the segment. And you're going to be like, oh, okay, yeah, Mo's not lying. Mo kind of makes sense. But, the point is, like, I'm always looking for, again, the Rahm Emanuel approach. Let's put all this weird bullshit that doesn't even matter aside, because I agree with Tucson on this. Put it all aside and let's talk about the real issues. Let's talk about our economy. Let's talk about trade deals. And let's talk about, the state of our, power fucking setup, right? Our power grid, stuff like that. Because our power grid is going to be fucked in a couple of years. You want to make this crazy push for AI and all these fucking data centers? We don't have the fucking power grid to fucking support it. And here's the thing, and now a lot of it starts to make sense, right? I'll segue a little bit. I have been sitting around wondering, I've talked to you about this privately and on the show, why did Trump fuck us so bad on this term? Why did we go to the war? Why did we continue to dick around in fucking Ukraine and Iran? Now I know why. Because if you want to make this big push towards fucking AI and taking over with the data centers, we don't have the power grid. The only way to do this is to get these fucking renewable fucking, the rare earth fucking minerals or whatever. And the best two places to get them, guess what? Ukraine and Iran. So now it all kind of starts to come together when you can say,
And
all right.
And the next two are Venezuela and Greenland.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Yes, but the Ukraine one, I think he feels like, well, we were already there, kind of supporting Ukraine, so we might as well try to finish the deal and get access to the minerals, right? Makes sense. Iran, well, we're already kind of embedded, on Israel's side, so we might as well kind of stay involved and try to get these fucking minerals. That's disgusting to me. I mean, listen, I get it. I get the whole fucking America first. You could say that's America first because you're trying to power America, but there's still crazy amounts of imperialism that I don't even want to get into. You know what I'm saying? And I think that, I'm not a big fan of when it comes to the geopolitics shit outside of trade deals. I don't really want to get involved. That's it.
Well, you have to think about how you're voting because you're voting for the person that's doing the thing you don't like. But let me catch up with chat because I still have one more graphic for this
but
one.
he shut the border.
Big A says
he
at a
shut the
professional
border
level,
and incentivizes businesses
no
to come
man,
back,
but
and that's
in
what I voted
BS
for.
levels like high school and below, let the individual schools decide. I don't think high school is a BS level, especially, I don't know where you're at, but you're in Texas, so if you come to Indiana, I mean, high school football is everything. But when it comes to basketball, that's where you get your scholarships, and that's where the financial incentivization comes in, and that begins to be a bit of a problem. Grandma Moore says, why can't they have co-ed teams that the transgender be a part of? They can, but that's not going to be competitive. I'm more into competitive sports. And to me, high school includes competitive. If we're talking Little League, don't matter to me at all. I thought this was a good comment that somebody made about it with Stephen A. Smith. He said, what if an NBA player, and there have been a couple gay NBA players, I think Dwight Howard came out as gay. I could be wrong about that. Yeah.
Yep, no, he's gay.
Yeah, so what if he decided...
And doesn't change anything. He's still fucking Dwight Howard. He's a fucking good baller, good dude.
But no, I'm saying this was what changed it though. What if he just tells you that the truth is I'm transgender and I'm signing up to play for the WNBA?
I think was it the Lynx? I forgot what team it was. The one that the coach wore like a trans kids fucking shirt the other day. They would take him in a heartbeat apparently.
I heard something about that. I didn't see the shirt itself, but I mean, if
fucking
he did,
disgusting.
He would win the championship every time. Like, it wouldn't even be close.
Oh, for sure. For sure. And he would have all the records. First fucking WNBA player to fucking dunk. They'd try to cry for an asterisk. They wouldn't get it. I mean, it was just... Then it would be racist and fucking,
Tucson says, who the F cares? It says that it's a diversionary subject. That's the problem. It's not, because this is what loses elections for the people on the far left. Like, we need the far left to be winning elections. And whenever the far right... Yeah. And they come to the right and they're saying, you can't vote for this person. They want men to play in sports and women's sports. And although that's not exactly what they want, just the idea that they're on the wrong side of this and you're comparing with the NBA to the WNBA, like, these people look crazy. So now the other stuff they're saying, socialism or whatever, maybe that's also crazy if these are the people who think that men should be able to compete with women in boxing. You know what I'm saying?
But they don't, though, because the same people, the DSA, those types of people, they would absolutely exile or murder all the people that you're talking about, because it's against their fucking religion, it's against their culture. These people would never be accepted. That's why I said it's like a fucking chicken getting a job at KFC. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't make sense. These people are out there on the street fucking going crazy for them, but they don't realize that they're their enemy. They would invite them to a fucking rooftop picnic and throw them from the rooftop. That's what these people do. And like I said, I'm with you, because if I look to the left for any sort of like reasonable fucking policies or whatever, yeah, I don't want to hear that bullshit. I don't want to hear about how you're going to indoctrinate children and how you're going to start putting more books in the fucking schools, because they took out like 500 fucking books. I think like 200 of them had to do with like trans and shit for fucking children. Like, come on, what are we doing? You know what I mean? That's the type of shit that I'm always like, hey, draw the line. But again, when you're an adult and you're 18, I think you should be able to do whatever the hell you want. But everybody else shouldn't have to conform to it, and there should be restrictions. So if Dwight Howard did come out to bring it back and say, I'm now transgender, like, hey, well, guess what? When you were born a certain way, and this is how it is, and you're a male, technically, biologically, you can't play in the WNBA. Like, they just have to draw that line in the sand. But then you have coaches in the league that just won't do it because they're out there wearing shirts and fucking, arguing and shit.
I think the left needs to come together and be on the right side of this issue. Even though I think most of the people on the left are on the right side of this issue, the right controls the narrative, and they're able to paint the left as anything that somebody on the far left says. They're able to paint that onto everybody on the left.
Not really true anymore, man. We control the narrative. You, me, anybody in chat have the option of waking up what the hell we want to watch. We're not forced and we're not chained down to watch CNN or Fox News. I mean, you can stay in your echo chamber. I can stay in mine, but I think we both choose not to. I like to know what's going on the left with the DSA and all that craziness. You like to know what's going on with MAGA, obviously. You call me out on it. So, we both like to research both sides, and that's why I think we do this show, and I think it works. I don't know if there is a show called Commie Ground, but I always thought that would have been a good title. But
I like
Commie and Hog is just
versus draw eyes. Big A says the trans conversation is leading to federal legislation deciding who plays the high school teams. Let the individual schools, you can't let the individual schools decide. It has to be uniform across the country, I would think. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next. How much better? I mean, it's not going to make a huge difference. It's more of people not thinking that our side's crazy, so that we can convince them about the other stuff that's important. On the other side, though, you got the people that are on the right who see that Trump media has launched a new service where they're offering people to see Trump's Truth Social post before anybody else for like $100,000 a month, so that they can insider trade off of it. Mo, what do you think about that?
Is that true? Because I
Yeah.
actually
You
had
haven't seen
I
this?
had a little fact of my own that I was going to bring up, but that is actually wild. So how much does it cost?
$100,000 a month, I believe.
And you get access to his Truth Social post, but so he does his financial shit on his Truth fucking social.
So he'll post something like, we're attacking Iran, or we're going big on Iran right now. So then, that's going to move the markets. But if the people get that message 10 minutes earlier, they can go ahead and invest in the stuff that they think is going to, maybe oil is going to drop.
Oh, he's putting out like some silent signal type shit.
It's some straight up insider trading.
Some boiler room type shit.
Not
I got
only is
you.
he doing insider
I
trading,
got
which
you.
we already knew he was doing, now he's charging people to do insider trading with them.
I don't think he actually controls any of his portfolios, but the people that are under him.
Well,
I mean, listen, I actually, because again, we talk about this all the time. I think nobody in politics should make fucking money. But this motherfucker our president, this guy made like $3.6 billion. And I even had freaking AI and shit run the math with inflation accounted for. And the only other person that came close was like Kennedy. And that's because he inherited shit from his father. But again, this also takes into account a lot of Trump's business stuff. But I even tried to narrow it down even further. And I said, okay, remove Trump and remove Trump's fucking real estate businesses from this. And yeah, it's like we always talk about. Jared Kushner, his kids. I mean, the amount of money that these guys are making off of Trump and
his
and
kids
politics
especially,
is
they're getting all these
crazy.
government contracts too, and these companies that they're just creating out of the blue or just investing in that are nothing companies, but then as soon as they
Yep.
invest in them, they get these $100 million contracts from the government. He's just handing
Well, the
them money.
Kushner thing scares me the most.
Yeah, Kushner got like $200 billion from Saudi Arabia, and you can see at the same time, the prices of the stuff that we're paying are nothing but going up, and that's just in the last year. Oh, C-Spill, I have not talked about Roblox and BB. I actually don't know a lot about that one. I was gonna, when we get to collectibles, mention the BB stuff with the new trading cards, although I'm trying to figure out exactly what those are. But with the Roblox, we could talk about it. A lot of people feel like, even though it's like a game asset, none of the people who are playing the game know about it. Oh, it got canceled. What? I didn't hear about that. I'm still not sure why they wouldn't want their own league. I don't play pro basketball, but can at least join a beer league. Well, I'm sure they have like recreational leagues, but a trans league? I mean, I guess they could.
No, but they can. Listen, if there's a big, buff trans dude, woman, or trans person, and they go down to like a local softball game on a Sunday, as long as they're not like being some crazy RuPaul drag queen runway type shit, I'm sure they're going to be welcome to play. And they're not just out there like, prancing around. Again, I don't think that people are as prejudiced as some people might believe. But again, I think that, I think when you look at someone like Sophie Cunningham, because you mentioned it earlier too, like, yeah, Caitlin Clark stays silent while, now Sophie Cunningham's out there. And I think Caitlin Clark is staying silent because after all, she's dealing with the whole racial backlash. The last thing I think she wants is more on her fucking plate. And if you look at her and her coach sitting next to each other, man, the eyes that they were giving each other was crazy.
Oh, yeah.
That was like some prisoner hostage type shit. I didn't like that. But anyway, I just think that's why Sophie Cunningham's trying to come out and, say her piece or whatever. But
Caitlin Clark made a good decision by staying neutral on it, and I think what her name is, Sophie Cunningham, did a good job by coming out, and she's making money from it too. Her shoes are selling like crazy. Big A says when it comes to that True Social stuff, you get a millisecond early access API to his tweets, so only an automated trading could benefit. That makes it even worse. That means if I had $100,000, I wouldn't be able to benefit from it. Only people on the inside, already on the inside, get
rich get richer.
So messed up. All right, so like I said, those are the prices. Prices are going up. Not everything's in perfect order this time. I didn't have a lot of time when I got home. However, there is a big election happening right now. It's a primary election in Michigan. It's today. It's I don't remember the girl's name. The dude's name is Abdul Al Sayed or something, and he is
Al Sayed,
the far left guy. And then there's the girl who is more of an establishment Democrat, and she gets a lot of money from AIPAC and Israel and stuff. And at this point, they're saying it's like a 95% chance that Al Sayed wins. But I did post this one in particular because I kind of agreed with this lady was saying, and a lot of people on the left were quote tweeting this, saying that even black people are against Arabs, or there's some racist black people and all this. What she's saying though is she's like, you don't know how to work the room. Don't just come in here speaking Arabic and come out here with Arabic music playing. So when I first said that, it was like, I haven't watched all his campaign events. So if he was actually coming out with some crazy Arabic music in the background, I might be kind of on her side. Like, that's kind of crazy. I don't know why he would do that. But it wasn't actually him that did it. It was this other candidate who was Muslim who came out to Arabic music after winning. However, I've been seeing it, and I'm like, I don't understand why they're even using this music, because it's not like it's dance music. It's not like they're doing it to get their groove on or to have a good beat. It's like this weird, I don't know. Like, it seems more religious than it is entertaining. So it does kind of seem weird when some of these candidates play that music after winning. What do you think?
So, from a musical standpoint, I actually love that music. When I watch like 90 Day Fiance, they go to all these like third world countries and always playing the music and wearing. I love it, dude. Again, and when it's part of the culture and like you're stepping into the culture, like peeling back the curtain, walking in, it's great. I think it's fantastic. When it's jammed in our, down our throats here in America, maybe not so much. But I don't know about. The only thing I really saw about the Saeed. You didn't play that quote from her yet? You gonna watch that?
I don't have a quote.
I didn't see this video. I think you had a video from her.
No.
Oh, anyway, I don't really know too much about her, but
I like her accent.
So she is part of the DSA, is she not?
No, Haley Stevens, no.
No, not Haley Stevens. Al Sayed.
Yes, it's him.
I was saying, so no surprise there that he's winning, because again, someone else we're going to talk about, thanks to Hassan. Doing a great job out there with his millions of followers, definitely getting the word out there about these people. So
shout out to OG Wops in the chat. Good to see my man. Says Republicans match it better with the commie anyway. Republicans probably would think that, yeah. Capitalists are garbage. I disagree with that. I mean, I call myself the commie here, but as we looked up last time with ChatGPT to verify, places like China and literally every country in the world has a capitalist economy. Communism is a government
but
system.
It's a form of economy. It's still not a full capitalist economy.
They have a capitalist economy. We looked it up last time. I proved it last time. How? What?
Well, first of all, the Chinese CCP, it's in the fucking name, Chinese Communist Party.
Yes, that's the government system.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But the government
their
has
economic system is capitalism.
No, not fully, because their government has control of private sectors. So does Norway. That's why
so
it
does
is not
America.
a capital. No, not to the degree that they do. No.
So now we're talking degrees? The point is, it's
absolutely.
a capitalist economy.
It makes a big deal, because it makes a big difference. Because if you have let's say you talk about the U.S. stake in Intel, right? It's a 10% non-voting fucking stake, right? That's way different than what China has, where they actually have control of prices, which then affects supply and demand. When you take that away, you no longer have capitalism.
I don't think they have that type of control. We looked it up last time during ChatGPT. We could pull up the same thing. I mean, we went through different points.
Pull it up.
Okay.
Hold up. I mean, like I said, they're definitely not the same Maoist fucking, Chinese Communist Party they were before. But it's still a uniparty fucking state.
All right, we're going to just ask straight up, does China have a capitalist economy? Every country on the planet has a capitalist economy, including North Korea. Short answer, yes. China has a largely capitalist economy, but is governed by a communist one-party state. Yes. Private business. Millions of privately owned companies operate for profit. Yes, China has a major stock exchange in Shanghai. Businesses compete with each other in most industries. Mostly allowed private property through the government retains significant control over land. So that's kind of the difference with their governing style, is that they control the land, which is a means of protection.
And when
but it's still a capitalist economy.
But no, because when they control the land, they no longer.
They have a freaking stock market.
Not a full capitalist economy, man. I'm telling you, you can't have it in a uniparty fucking state like that.
It's not full enough. I'm telling you, it's capitalist. China is wrecking the USA with their capitalism. They have been able to abolish all
They're wrecking us
poverty.
with their economic model, but it's not capitalist.
Like I mentioned last 2 weeks ago, whenever we talked about China. China has less money than us and more people, and they eliminated poverty in their country. So call it whatever.
And you still
want.
would not want to go live in China.
I
The show
disagree.
would not exist in China.
I'll go right now. Y'all
The
trying
show
to,
would not exist in China.
that might be true. Big A says, y'all trying to hijack and why you always gotta write so much? It's so small. Y'all gotta wait, man. Y'all trying to black and white gray issues is capitalism, but they have, I mean, isms are always gonna be gray, but they have a lot of government control. Yes, so does America. Foreign companies. I mean, we have like not only do we have the FCC, but we have the freaking Federal Trade Commission. We have
But they
the
don't
Federal
own
Reserve.
parts of private companies. They don't affect.
They control
fucking supply
interest
and demand.
rates. Interest
They don't
rates.
affect. But they don't affect supply and demand. They don't affect the free trade
You don't
market.
think the tariffs?
And again,
the tariffs don't affect supply and demand.
actually, it was the Fed of the chair or whatever that came out and said that the tariffs are actually going to be helpful and beneficial over time. So again, you know, they're good. They're good fucking bargaining tactics. They could work in certain situations. I don't think we should, you know, threaten them on fucking Texas, obviously. But you know, listen, yeah, is it a gray area? Sure, but I would not want to live in China. I'm telling you, I'll buy you a fucking ticket to China. I think you'll want to come back real quick. But
I'll
just saying.
give it a shot just to find me an Asian girl.
Now, I think Norway, we could exist. First of all, Norway is like 90% white. So another reason why their economic model works.
Nope.
And,
Bud Thompson
you
had
know,
the same argument, and I pulled up the statistics live, just like I did a second ago, and that's a bullshit argument. They have just as much diversity as any other country.
No, they do not.
They do.
It's like 80-some% plus another like other.
Which is
but it's
everybody
not black.
else's. They are 87% white, like everybody else, except for maybe America.
Well, that's my point. I'm always comparing it to America. I don't give a fuck about any other country. You know this by now. I don't care about another country. I'm comparing it to America. But the Nordic model, like I said, does work. But Bernie tried the Nordic model, and he could even get fucking, you know, platformed by the Democrats because they know that Americans aren't going to go for higher taxes.
No, it's not because they know the Democrats are establishment, and they do not want democratic socialism to take over, because then they won't stop making as much money personally. That's what that's all about.
No, because Bernie didn't run on democratic socialism. That's the DSA. He ran on
Social democracy.
Social democracy, which is way different. That's the Nordic model. We're talking about two different things. That's why Bernie never was able to get platformed. And I felt bad for him because, again, I agree with so much of what Bernie's trying to do. Some things we might have different roads to get there, but I still think his ideas are genuine. And that's why the DSA's hijacked him for his people as best as they can, along with Hassan and yada, yada, yada. And it works. It definitely works.
Big A says China wins capitalism because government subsidizes industries to kill foreign competition, then raises prices after killing competition. We can do the same thing with tariffs. That's the whole point of using tariffs, is to do things like that. If you want
and that's
to.
been the big knock on China, right? It's like IP infringement. You have video of like Chuck Schumer going back in like what, the 90s, the mid 90s, talking about how fucking China's infringing on IPs and killing fucking trade. Again, that was like the left talking point for so long, and sometime became the right talking point. I don't know when the hell it really happened, but I disagree with it all the time. I've always agreed with it, you know?
So on the data centers, a lot of people, especially in my area, this is a big subject in my area, because we're getting a new data center in my little tiny town that has only 2 restaurants, well, maybe 4 restaurants if you count Taco Bell and McDonald's. We're getting a freaking data center, even though everybody here opposes it. And then the city next to us already has a data center and is getting another data center. And like, they're popping up everywhere. And then Trump they asked him about it, and he's like, psh, you can't fight it. You have to go with it. And he had a couple other quotes about data centers where he's very pro data center. They've even passed some federal laws restricting states from putting regulations on data centers so that these data centers can come in, take the water, get like free water, and not have, I mean, the other people, the community has to pick up the electric bills going up. I don't know, man. What do you think about the data centers?
So yeah, in its current iteration, I don't like it. I don't like that a lot of people are being, you know, either forced or coerced to fucking sell their land. I think that's fucking bullshit. Again, we talked about it recently, right? How my family came over, right, after the Mayflower and settled on like the whole northern shore of Long Island. And now if you go back and look, there's like a road and a court named after my family. You know what I mean? Like, but they used to own the whole fucking thing because slowly by slowly they got stolen and taken away and they were forced to sell. So I don't like people, especially people that earned it, having their fucking land. And I've seen plenty of videos where farmers are like, yeah, you know, I'm gonna have to shut down my, you know, part of my fucking farming, you know, business to, you know, put up a fucking data center.
And then
they got to worry about and then they got to worry about the economical fucking impacts of coming. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't know. We really don't know.
C-Spell says, are they good jobs? They have good construction jobs for like a month or two once they get built, but then they employ like 4 or 5 people, and then those jobs will probably get taken over by AI eventually. But
Yeah, they'll be
I'm
automated
wondering,
in
like,
fucking no time.
how much AI do they expect us to use that we need
Everything.
this many data centers? Because like, there's not that
Everything.
much demand for AI. They're definitely not making the money that has
Oh,
been
there will be.
invested.
Oh, there will be. Remember all those tax breaks and all the credits that businesses were getting starting in like 2012 or some shit for like automated stuff, like with automated tech and businesses? Yeah, guess what? All that money is now coming to fruition. And all these places, when you walk in, it's like, can't find a single person at the supermarket, but I got a robot that walks around, gets in my way, sweeps up the floor. And then when I want to go check out, I have to go walk up to a machine. I got to fucking scan everything, pay, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Y'all got robot
this is what they
janitors in
paid
New
for.
York?
Dude, it's crazy. They got like these they're like,
That's kind of cool.
they sweep stuff up. They walk around. I think you can even like ask it for help, like scan an item or some shit. Oh yeah, dude. Look, you know what it looks like?
I
I'll
gotta
take
try
a
not
picture
to
next time
like
I go.
this.
It reminds me. Remember the robot in Rocky, that Rocky buys for Paulie,
No.
like the little maid robot,
Uh-uh.
something like that. Anybody knows what I'm talking about?
It's
But
been a long time since I saw the Rocky movies. But yeah, I mean,
But
that
anyway.
sounds kind of cool.
my point is, everything will be automated. Everything will be AI. Everything will be running off data centers. So that means that we're gonna have to have more and more and more and more because, yeah, like somebody just said, everyone's got to make AI slop fucking movies too, and that's the bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, we're building data centers so people can make fucking AI videos. I'm pissed.
And they're
If we could do it to,
like Grandma
you know,
Moore
better our
says, they're going to be
country.
using them as surveillance centers for all these new flock cameras too, and that's been a big issue that even politicians are getting elected because they're like anti-flock cameras.
I don't break the law, so I don't really care about that shit.
Yeah, we
That's
talked
when,
about that
you know,
last time. I really don't care about it either.
Cop pulls me over. Can I search your car? Yeah, sure, go for it, man. Just hurry up, please, so I can get on my way. Like, I don't really care. It is what it is.
Getting decent AI job offers. We got to learn how to put together prompts. It seems pretty freaking easy. If you guys
Professional prompters, yeah, professional prompters will probably be a thing, but then AI is just going to learn how to become a professional prompter, and then they're going to
Exactly.
take that job too.
you're gonna have an AI prompter that's gonna be what it was designed to do. All right, if you guys haven't watched it yet, one of my favorite YouTube channels is Channel 5 with Andrew Callahan, and he just put out a crazy interview because it was an interview with him, Nick Fuentes, and Hunter Biden. And Mo, you just watched it. What'd you think?
Oh my God, you want to talk about the two lines of my moral compass? Anytime I lean so far to the right, I think of Nick Fuentes, and I'm like, don't make that joke. Anytime I think about how weed's not enough for how crazy this world is, I'm like, don't pick up that crack pipe like Hunter Biden. I don't know. I went into that because I don't follow either one of them. I used to watch Nick Fuentes. I see the clips of his outlandish jokes, you know what I mean? But I don't know. It was okay. It was a decent conversation. I kind of agreed with Nick Fuentes on it, where he's like, can you stop lecturing me, please? You know? Because that's what it felt like Hunter Biden was doing for a lot of it. He was like, no, you don't understand, Nick. You don't understand. It's like, no, I think he understands, man. Like, your wife and your son were butthurt over a fucking Jewish joke. Get over it. Or don't like the show, change the channel. Don't have a conversation with the guy. But he sat down thinking he can, like, change the guy to a certain extent. But I think they both got something out of it. I think they, you know, it
Well, I
was all
think
right.
Hunter Biden wanted to get Fuentes to say on camera that he was wrong to vote for Trump and that Trump is corrupt, and he got that part out of him at least, which at this point would be kind of hard to deny unless your name is MoKnowz. Big A says, saw a comment today on AI slop post. This is why every
I would
movie
still
about
vote for
AI
it.
becoming self-aware leads to them wanting to kill the human race. Oh, because the AI is watching other posts about AI killing the human race. There's already so many movies about it. Like, I'm scared to watch AI movies anymore. I use AI to check my grading on comic books. Or not use that for baseball cards. I use Grok to prompt Claude code. I thought Claude was better than Grok. Girl Moore says, I'm a good person too, but I don't want my every second of my life recorded like the Truman Show. They did talk about how this sheriff, and it's been more than one, but one sheriff in particular was like following his ex-girlfriend by looking at the flock camera and had pulled up her and her daughter's license plate over 400 times within a month. Like, hopefully I don't make any enemies that would do that, but if you have an enemy that's in the police department, now we might have a problem because they can sit there and follow you everywhere. Maybe they're looking to find you doing something, but then again, if you would have to do something to be found. So I don't know.
Listen, I understand the whole argument of like, oh, you know, I don't know about being a fascist, fucking Tucson. I've agreed with you today, man. Cut me some fucking slack, Tucson. Listen, I agree with where, you know, you give them an inch, they could take a mile, and they could try to fucking pin things on you and all that good stuff. But again, man, I was just always lived my life by the fucking line of the law, dude. and I've done well this far, So
I try to. Shout out to Matt in the chat. Thanks for hanging out with us. Says 2 individuals I couldn't care less about, but I think we need to promote and celebrate civil political discussion versus just calling everyone Nazis or commies. Which kind of brings me to the next point: is this meeting that happened the other day with Tucker Carlson, Marjorie Taylor Greene, your boy who used to be in national security but quit. He's got a weird name like Joe Smith or something, and Thomas Massey all together, and they're saying that they're starting this new America First political party, and it sounds like the people at TYT are kind of into it as well, which would be a little bit of a mix of the left and a mix of the right, and they're planning on running on stopping all aid to Israel for one, but stopping all aid to everybody basically, so that we can just, I don't know about being isolationist, but focus on America first, which I'm all for America first. I don't think we should be sending money to Israel or all these other places.
Listen, you can have good trades, right? You can have good trade discussions with other countries and good fucking trade agreements and not be an isolationist. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
it could 100% happen. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing saying that both things can't be true here. And I think it's crazy that people are like, well, that means we can't trade with anybody. It's like, well, who the fuck says that? Like, we're going to have things that people need, and they're going to have things that we need. So, we don't have to threaten them with tariffs.
But it seems to me like what they're talking about, this America First, helping the people in America first, all of this, to me, sounds like spinning that they would consider socialism. So it's weird that it's coming from Tucker Carlson and Thomas Massey and Marjorie Taylor Greene when they're people that have always talked about how the people on the left are socialists. Is this not socialism, what they're talking about, doing America First and giving more benefits to the people?
Again, it's how you arrive at the benefits. One day we're going to do a show because I have a really good fucking political plan set up. I'm just not the best speaker. Obviously, you guys know this. I rant and I rave. But if someone actually took my policies and ran it on a platform, they're pretty fucking solid. I'm telling you this shit right now. You know what I mean? Like, there's different ways to get there. It doesn't have to be...
I want to compare our policy positions. I bet more of them would be in common than we expect. Shout out to OG Crypto in the chat. Says, Republicans giving Trump IRS immunity after Capital One closed his bank accounts for money laundering. Should be a bigger story. I think I got it. I had way too much stuff this week. We never got to Fauci or Koala. Yeah, Capital One says it closed Trump organization's accounts over money laundering. Now, if this was Joe Biden or even Hunter Biden, this would be the biggest story in the country on every right-wing channel from now until the end of the year. But nobody even talks about it with Trump. What's up with that?
You're talking about it right now? Who's not talking about it?
Yeah, but I don't count. I'm only talking about it because Kryptoni brought it up. Big A says it was a joke about humans using all this amazing AI potential instead of for solving issues, but making slop. I probably missed the joke. I've never been on probation. I know what low-life pigs are in their personal. I've been on probation multiple times. So what are you calling me a low-life pig, bro? Chill. DLC says, had to see it coming, Big A. Cell phone was the greatest thing ever if used correctly. Instead, everyone fills their day watching TikToks. Man, TikTok is freaking so addicting. I try not to watch it because if I start watching it, I'm 2 hours gone for sure. I can't stop scrolling. I don't know why. Isolation has been outdated since 1900s rolled around. So Flo says, what's up? Yeah, I haven't seen you in a while. So Flo, we still do BB drops every once in a while. You missed a big one. We just had the Captain America #1 comic drop on BB last Thursday. It was a huge drop. We had Yoda FA not too long ago. I still stream them on the weekends if it's a good drop worth going for. Or a hot chick. I do seem to stream a lot of the hot chicks. So Flo says we're heading down the right wing now. I'm down for work. Not me. This is the Commie and the Hog. I'm the Commie.
And I'm supposed to be the Hog, although if you tuned in the past few weeks. Again, outside of closed borders, incentivizing businesses back, I don't think I've agreed with a single thing that Trump has done this fucking administration. Again, keep that in mind. A single thing outside of those two. And I know, just like and chat knows, that those, we're going to build an America agreements are just going to fucking go to shit once 2028 rolls around and if the Republicans don't win. We already know this. So
my original
closing
question
the borders was the only thing.
I haven't asked my original question to you for a while. Do you regret voting for Trump?
I'm going to send you a picture. But listen, no, I don't. Because, again, he closed the borders, which, Kamala would not have done. But I'm going to send you something on Discord real quick. I want you to bring this up.
So Flo says politics is becoming TV now. No more logic or seriousness. I mean, it's wild how they just completely throw logic out of the window. It's a whole lot of hypocrisy where one day they're like, the left did this, the left did this, and then the next day they do the exact same thing, and they're like, what? Ain't nothing wrong with that.
As to whataboutisms, but check out what I just sent you.
Okay. All right, I'm about to check it out. We don't have, I mean, I do have a whole bunch more topics, but we don't have a whole lot of time. We got to get to collectibles soon. I definitely wanted to ask you what you think about the new announcement in your neck of the woods, New York. My man, Ma'am Donnie, has announced that the government grocery stores are coming. So he's announcing a collection of essential staples that will be predictably 30% cheaper at all 5 of their city-run grocery stores. The core set of goods will include all fresh produce, meat, and seafood, along with 20 other essential items like cheese, milk, and bread. So here's how it works. Once a month, there's going to be 5 of them across the city. Remember, this is New York, so there's like definitely hundreds, maybe even thousands of grocery stores in New York. And there's only going to be 5 of these. So they're going to set prices for this core set of goods at 30% below typical retail prices. No exceptions, no gimmicks. The savings will last for 1 month, and that means no weekly fluctuations or sticker shock at the checkout line. So a lot of people are upset about this. They're saying that it's going to hurt all the other local businesses, the other grocery stores. It is only for a month. Mo, what do you think about it?
To a certain extent. Well, so to a certain extent, yeah. So it's 5 locations. They're not even rebuilding like new buildings. They're using existing buildings. So I kind of like that. But it's still $70 million in reconstruction costs and all that good stuff. What I really don't like about it is that they're using this RFP program for New York that Mamdani put together with basically a group of developers and a group of people that the city and the state will fucking approve to take part in these projects. Now, what that will lead to is a lot of corruption. Because again, these people, they're coming in these 5 stores I'm talking about, they're coming in to basically run these stores. This is what they hope. That someone like, do you have Safeway by you? Stop and Shop, ShopRite?
I've seen Safeways around here.
Anyway, everybody in chat, to you, insert your biggest supermarket in the area. Mamdani is hoping that one of those chains will come in and will want to take it over. As of right now, there is none of the big chains that want to do it, because why would they do it when they can just go to their locations where they make actual money? But they're going to be able to come into these 5 locations. They can run it rent-free, right? All this good stuff. They don't have to pay rent. They get fucking discounts, 30% on essentials.
Oh, that's easy to understand. I know why a big grocery store would do this, because it's only on these particular products, 20 essential items. So if you can bring a whole bunch of people coming into your store to get these 20 essential items, guess what? They're going to buy other stuff while they're there. It's going to drive up your sales.
Yeah, but the ban on what they cannot sell might drive these bigger chains away, because they can't sell alcohol, they can't sell nicotine products, they can't sell a lot of things that they normally sell behind the customer service counter. You know what I'm saying? Lotto, stuff like that. They won't be able to do it. It's just part of the restrictions. So that's why they're saying that the big chains won't come in. So again, if a mom and pop comes in, all right, great. Yeah, it's great. You can save 30%. But now go look at these other socialist programs where they have co-ops and other things like that in other countries. When you show up on that day, there is none of these essential goods. Because these companies that are, or these farmers and stuff that are making it, are going to give it to the people that are paying full price before they give it to the other people. That's just the way it goes. And that's why when they go to the shelves, they don't have what they're supposed to be getting. They'll say, oh, I get 5 pounds of rice a month. Well, how much rice did you get last month? Oh, I only got 1.5 pounds they owe me. And that's what it turns into, because they're not going to have these essential goods. I mean, we'll wait and see. But
exactly,
that's the countries it hasn't worked.
That we've been, like I said on Twitter, we've been doing these stupid trickle-down economics ideas over and over for the last 40 years. Let's try one. Let's see what happens. Can we give it a shot? Let's try it and see what happens. Let's get some results first. I'm sure if any tiny little thing goes wrong, you're going to hear all about it on Fox News. But at least let's give it a shot. Kryptoni says, Elon says Tesla iPhone will pale in comparison to his robot. He also said he's going to have self-driving Teslas every year for 10 years straight, and it still hasn't happened. Yeah, exactly. DLC says, haven't been in trouble for a long time, but there's a reason. All my plates are in my wife's. DNOC, what are you doing up there in Canada? Big A says, Lon likes to overstate. He's a con man. He ain't never invented anything in his life. Freedom gas stations, Mamdani food stores. What's wrong with that? The Freedom gas stations are kind of wild. Anybody you know suffering?
Somebody clip that. Hold on real quick. Somebody clip that, because when Elon's going to save our asses and get us to Mars, you're not coming, Bull. I want him to hear that.
Oh, I guarantee
I want him to hear it.
Elon is not letting me on his spaceship for sure. No, I did not
I told you I applied for that, right? Like 2005? I
didn't know you could.
It was like a mission to Mars.
2005? Yeah, that sounds like an Elon.
It was a long-ass time ago.
No,
I signed up, bro.
Tesla 4. What's the doo-doo thing? The one where it has explosive diarrhea, the Tesla 11 floor or something. It's over here. It's in my area. It's in the Midwest. So I've been avoiding Taco Bell, avoiding lettuce. I avoid lettuce anyway, so it ain't no big deal.
Oh, the lettuce, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, man. As soon as that news came out, I was like, oh, I just ate Taco Bell like last night.
And then all of a sudden,
Nah, I was fine. I was fine.
oh no.
Did you get that picture, by the way, that I sent you?
Yes, I got it right here. Let me pull it up. So you took some kind of test here, and it told you
It's like a political compass test, yeah. And this is what I always tell you people, and I want you guys to fucking understand this. Because when it comes to economics, I am so far left, it'll blow your fucking mind. And then when it comes to, you know, a lot of the other stuff, where it comes to rule and law, I'm definitely more on the right. So that's why that chart is the way it is.
SoFlo says, Ma'am Donnie is a commie. Define communism. Same thing I say on Twitter. People who say he's a communist don't know what communism means.
I mean,
I'm not going to get into it.
He's supported by the DSA, and their whole fucking game plan is fucking communism. So
no, it's socialism. Kryptonic says my Cybertruck just took me.
No, no. The overall ideal message from them is that socialism is the stepping stone to full-blown communism. That is their fucking like mantra. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. We're in the middle of a stepping stone, so we're gonna be stepped on. This is why I tell you, when you see the LGBTQs out there for fucking the Islams and all this stuff, it's like, bro, they'll be the first to kill you when they take over. So good luck.
Why? Where do you get? Where did we go to kill me? The people who want everybody to have
because their
healthcare will eventually kill you.
Their entire message is to kill all Jews, eradicate the West.
That's the DSA's message.
No, I'm saying these people that are out there supporting like Islam.
There's
going to
be crazy people on every side. You got people on the right saying,
there's a lot.
Get rid of everybody who isn't white. So I mean, if you were able to paint that as the whole right, the way that the right can paint people on the far left as the whole left, the way that you're trying to do right now, then it would be a different story. Kryptonic says his Cybertruck took him to Panda Express and back, and he didn't touch the wheel. I didn't know they could do that. Are you for real? Can you make a video of it? I want to see that. I don't think I would trust a Cybertruck.
It definitely works if you're in the right area.
Triangle
and
on
it has
wheels? I don't think so. Okay. All right. One more.
My car does it.
I've got a ton of topics here and politics, but we don't have time for all of them. So let's do one more. I want to see what Mo thinks about your boy Dr. Fauci, because the people on the right are hating on Fauci right now. He just his diary was released, and then he appeared before Congress. And when he appeared before Congress, he pleaded the fifth for any question that he was asked. So I think it was Aaron Rodgers was on ESPN just yesterday. They fired like all their non-white commentators, and now Pat McAfee does everything, and he brings on Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers is on ESPN talking about how Dr.
He's Fauci on every week,
is a coward.
He's on every week with McAfee. It's not like he just came on for that. They have a weekly segment.
He's a douchebag. I didn't watch. I didn't know he had a weekly segment because I would never watch that douchebag. But the people who hate Fauci are now saying that Fauci killed millions and millions of people, which. Okay, so I thought COVID wasn't dangerous. So the same people who said COVID didn't kill nobody now saying that Fauci is responsible for millions of deaths. And you can see what Bernie Moreno said to him. I won't even read it out loud during the Senate testimony. I mean, I hear y'all's argument because, I mean, I don't know everything about it, but he did lie about some stuff. But the stuff that he lied about, he didn't do it, like, maliciously. Like, his job as the head of infectious disease for the government, he's not head of infectious disease for a hospital. He's head of infectious disease for the government. So he wants to temper beer, right? So even though he got a little bit of conflicting information, which said that and we still don't know yet if it was from a wet market or from a Chinese laboratory, even though people on the right will say, we're 100% sure. It actually has not been proven 100% either way. So that whenever he got the information that it could have come from a Chinese laboratory, he decided not to tell people about it. But he did kind of lie to Congress during that time, which is against the law. However, I think it was all about his ego, because if you look at his diary, he's like talking about how he's like he's more famous than Taylor Swift, and he's talking about how Bette Midler's calling him for medical advice. So, I mean, he had some issues, but I don't think he had any criminal issues, and I don't think he did anything with malicious intent.
No, and listen, here's the thing. I mean, he's been like a well-respected guy for a long time, and that's why even like during the pandemic, I look at him like, well, this guy has always been kind of like on the up and up. You know, he seems like he knows, but then you see some of these, leaks or whatever, and they had emails or some shit about like what would happen if there was an accidental, leak or some shit from a lab, and then we happen to get something similar. It's like, doesn't look good. And I don't know, man. Just looking at him at that hearing, it breaks my heart. It really does, because I was a Fauci fan, but
it did look.
I also don't like dragging him over the coals like this. Like, if you're gonna just let the man plead the fifth and let's just fucking move on. I don't like the money that's going into it, the time and the effort. Like, let him plead the fifth one fucking time and just move on with our lives.
Plus, he's already got a pardon, so why is he pleading the fifth? But you know how Trump is. He'll find some reason. It was
apparently, I guess
Rand Paul he was worried about.
Yeah, they talked about that during it. They were like, if you are pardoned, apparently you don't even have the right to plead the fifth anymore. I don't know how true that is. Again, that's above my pay grade. But I didn't, again, I was a Fauci fan, so I kind of breaks my heart a little bit.
Yeah, I don't like all the hate he's getting, but I can understand the other perspective. Ghost Slayer says,
it doesn't look good. It didn't look good. You know what I mean? I was hoping that would come out and exonerate him a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
he's supposed to be really smart, so he should be able to explain his point of view. Ghost Slayer says, no hate.
Yes, thank you.
No hate for those who enjoy it, but I prefer to use my steering wheel and do the driving myself. Yeah, I'm not trusting no computer to drive me anywhere, even for evasive maneuvering. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no. Yeah, I'm too.
Well, I saw a thing from Benz Mercedes a few years ago, but they were like, "Oh, the future of self-driving," and it had like nobody in the front, and it had like a business table in the middle. Like if you had like a caravan, you took out like the middle seats where the kids sit, and there was like a business meeting table, and there was like 3 people sitting there, no driver, car automated driving. I'm like, if you ever think I'm getting in that fucking Deathmobile, you got another thing coming. Because if you saw the movie or the show Upload. Yeah, well, that's how that show starts. So let's not even get going there.
I've heard of it. I don't think I've seen it. Grandma Moore says Fauci should be in prison for what? What exactly? Can you explain why? Some people are saying like Fauci created COVID. I'm like, what are we talking about? Kurtari says my truck takes me to San Francisco every month. 89% full self-driving. Yeah, I still want to drive no Cybertruck. It's so ugly. No offense, Kryptoni. Denny OC says I don't like being a passenger ever. I like to drive. I'm the same way about that too. Like if we're going on a trip, I like to drive. Kurtari says, don't knock it till you try it. I've been skeptical too, but it drives better than me. Like, maybe I could do it, but it's not like I trust it so much that I would take a nap while it drives me somewhere. Hell no. Denny OC says, I actually got to drive one not too long ago for the first time. They're fun to drive. I feel like they'd be big, but I guess if you're driving a truck, they have the same issue. You can't plead the fifth when you pardoned a victim, apparently. For example, if someone runs into your house, holds you at gunpoint, and robs you, you can't plead the fifth as a victim, but the person who robbed you can. Why would you need to plead the fifth as a victim? I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know that you couldn't.
Said, if he turned around and killed him in self-defense or something?
Yeah. Can't plead the fifth about it. Very small amount of Americans are
anti-Fauci. Though.
Apparently a lot of them are.
When my boy fucking Josh Hawley was going, he was like, because he... if you watched, did you see the beginning of that with Josh Hawley? When he reminds me of Nicolas Cage, and I kind of like it. I feel like that's the future guy for the Republicans.
I can see that look. I don't know. He's
There's the way he said it though. He's like, Dr. Fauci, can you tell me what time it is? I was like, it's Nick Cage, bro. It was actually fucking dope. But anyway, yeah, I was like, I plead the fifth.
Ghost Slayer's right. Somebody asked him what time it is. What time is it? And Fauci pled the fifth on that one too.
Like, even smirking when he said it, dude. He was like, it's so fucking retarded that I have to say this right now, but I have to say this right now. And, and I'll come at it from your side, from the left, right? I understand it, because if you say even one word out of line, and then they can hold you and pin something else on you, right? Like, and they spin it a certain way, that's why you don't talk, right? Like, that's why you plead the fifth. That's why when you get arrested, you don't say nothing without a lawyer. Even though I did, it worked out fine for me.
Yeah, be careful what you say, though. You don't want to incriminate yourself. All right, we'll move on to the next thing. But
of course, but I'm just using a line of reasoning. I got pulled over with a shit ton of weed. My boys fucking pulled it out in the car, and there was a cop sitting in the corner, and the cop pulls me over and goes, you have a bag of weed in the car? I said, no, officer, I do not. He goes, I'm going to ask you one more time. You have a bag? And I'm like, well, obviously he saw the fucking big bag of weed. Right. So I was like, yeah, all right, officer, yeah, right, I got a bag of weed, sorry. And he cuffed me, and they brought me in, and some guy bailed me out. It was like $100. It was actually pretty funny. It was a good experience.
There you go. A lot of people talking about the Fauci hate, talks about how he made us wear all these face masks or whatever. And if you remember, Trump was president at the time, and Trump gave him an award at the end of the year, or at the end of his term. And also you had the people like Herman Cain who were complaining about the mask, and then he went to this event telling people you're not allowed to wear mask at this event. And if you remember correctly, he contracted COVID at that event, and he passed away a couple weeks later. So pretending like Dr. Fauci wasn't trying to help save people's lives, and pretending like masks were not there to help save lives is just, you're in this right-wing bubble where science no longer matters. All
So
right,
I had this. Well, real quick though, I did have this anecdotal, but I had this big ass argument because my mom had gotten COVID. We were all living together at that time, right? With my grandmother and my aunt. And I was like, man, just please do me a favor. Like, if you get COVID, like maybe just wear a mask. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I might have said that, but I think the studies have showed that it really didn't help. But
what studies?
about the mask protecting from COVID, like whatever. So I'm like, all
Right.
right.
Once again, and I'll explain this like I explained it to Bud Thompson. That's where the people on the right are all confused. The masks are not designed to protect you from COVID. The masks are designed to protect other people from your COVID.
Yes, listen to me. I said, because I was told in my household that I was wrong. And I was like, oh, so hospitals just wearing masks when people get sick in there is just a fucking figment of their imagination for 100-something years, right? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I understand why Trump would lean on Fauci at the time because, yeah, he was a respected medical guy. And he was saying that, yeah, we should probably mask up because in other situations it has helped, right? And again, because I look at hospitals and when people get sick, not from COVID, from anything else, you go to like a, contagious ward, you have to wear a mask. You got to like wear all this crazy shit.
Because it keeps your germs in.
I was on the mask side. I also had a cool Sub-Zero one, you know what I'm saying? I was on the mask side, all right? But I wasn't to the point of like, let's double mask and people wearing their masks in their car while they're driving around with themselves. I'm like, that's
that shit. It would crack me up every time I saw somebody in their car with the windows up with the mask on by themselves. Oh my God, I would laugh every time, like laugh out loud. Tucson says, daily smoker for decades, never even been questioned for weed. Kryptoni says, am I supposed to hate my mom for making me get the chickenpox vaccine in school? Or am I grateful that she cared? Obviously, you should be grateful. Was she right to do that? Yes. If she got you some vaccine that made you sick, would she still have been right? Yes, because she's just following the expert advice. That's what we got to do. We can't pretend like we know more than doctors if we're not doctors ourselves. Everyone knows Max.
No, you're right. And, I'm seeing random things in chat, but yeah, certain things when you're breathing in like fine dust from drywall is a perfect example. Tucson, you're on fire today. I love you today. Yeah, you do have to have a specific type of mask because breathing that shit in, or what's another good one, like insulation from like ceilings and walls and shit like that. It's like microglass and shit. You know what I mean? Like you get that shit in your lungs and fiberglass, that shit fuck you up, dude. But I did see a lot of people that were like, oh, wear 2 masks because it helps. And I'm like, I don't think so. But 1 mask was definitely good.
She said she didn't follow any of the science and she was just fine. All of it was about testing control over us. Come on. You don't think they did that to try to help prevent this new infection, this new virus that they never heard of before? They didn't know exactly what it was or how to control it. So they're just, trying to, okay, I guess they were doing it to try to control everybody, not actually trying to help people. They did literally save millions of people's lives, Masks work when you do drywall. Solo car mask were the best, yes. I bet grandma was a grandma by the age of 35. Hey, that's my sister. Big A says 99% of people in car with masks were probably just between places and didn't feel like taking it off. Yeah, Big A, you're always skeptical. I'm not skeptical. I think they were dumb. I think the people in the cars with the masks were dumb.
Big A, me and Bolt agree on this. Okay, can you just agree with us for once? Can we have the ultimate Triforce, the ultimate trifecta, the fucking tripod, if you will?
The A in Big A stands for alternative view. Grandma Moore says the chickenpox vaccine is terrible. It's a booster. If a girl gets pregnant and didn't get the booster and contracts chickenpox, she will die. If she contracts chickenpox, then doesn't she want to get the vaccine so she doesn't contract chickenpox? You're saying she gets it from the booster? Yeah, well then don't get the booster if you're pregnant. Of course, some people don't know that they're pregnant when they get it.
Don't you get the chickenpox booster when you're young?
Yeah, I thought you get them all when you're young too, but I don't know that much about it. Ghost Slayer says 99%.
Young people getting pregnant?
Well, sometimes young people get pregnant. A lot of people were frightened out of their minds. I know people didn't know what to do. If you remember back then, everybody was freaking out about it.
No, but that's what I'm saying, and that was my original point. Like when my mom, whatever, was like, oh, I don't really believe it. Like, listen, there's a reason why hospitals and everything, they use masks, and we didn't know. It was an unknown. Like I said, it was a very, very crazy time.
And just like Kryptoni says, they built 85% of buildings out of asbestos. They didn't know. Just like they put a bunch of lead in the paint on our walls in our schools back in the day because they didn't know.
100%.
Says people were wearing masks, spraying stuff with Lysol and bleaching things afterwards along with torching it in fear of getting it. And some people were telling you to inject disinfectant into your blood to cure yourself. That would be your president. Big A says, okay, maybe not 99%, but I can't believe most people solo with masks were doing it for any other reason than laziness. I think it was straight fear and stupidity. But
Yeah, no, some of them thought they could give it to themselves, even if they didn't have it. They're like, oh my God, like someone had COVID, walked by me, and it's sitting on my upper lip, and now I'm going to breathe it back in. Now it's going to be in my body. You know what I'm saying? And also, real quick, anecdotally, you know, in my household, if you remember, I think when we started this show, I was doing it from there, right? My grandmother and my aunt were very old, very sick. That was the reason why I was even back there. You know what I'm saying? Like, so for those two, them getting COVID was like a fucking death warrant. You know what I mean?
yeah. See, that's why I wasn't too worried about it. I didn't even get any type of vaccine or anything because it's just me and my son that live here, and we're not in danger. I'm pretty healthy. All right, let's do my card of the day and get to the collectibles. I've got a whole box of Topps Chrome to open. I've got the packs already ready to go. We were talking about Chrome, Topps Chrome coming out 2 weeks ago. It was the day before it came out, and after the end of the stream, me and Mo were talking, and he was like, go buy you some of that when it comes out. So I went and bought me a box, and I opened it on my lunch break that day, which was 2 weeks ago, and I pulled a card out of there that was the San Francisco Giants rookie, Bryce Edgington or something. Anyway, I sold it for $150. The box itself was only $30, so I bought another, or $35. I bought another one of those boxes. Maybe I'll get lucky again. But first, my card of the day. This one is one of my oldest cards. We're going all the way back to 1940. 1940. This is not Bowman. This is not Topps. This is Play Ball. 1940 Play Ball is the name of.
Potato Hamlin? Is that who that is?
That is it. That's right. It is Hot Potato Hamlin from 1940. Not a super expensive card, but I really like this guy's name, Luke Hot Potato Hamlin. The card is in great condition, but it does have some writing on it, which writing really hurts values of old cards. But I like it because it presents well and because the dude's name is Hot Potato. And it's one of my oldest cards, 1940 Play Ball, which is kind of cool because it's usually if you got an old card like that in the 40s or 50s, it's probably Bowman, maybe Topps, but you don't see a lot of Play Balls. So yeah.
You know what that reminds me of?
What's that?
The fucking theme from League of Their Own. To play ball.
I love that movie.
Or like the women's national baseball theme song, whatever.
Tucson says for some people it seems like the only thing they think masks don't work for is COVID. All I know is Asians are smart. They wear masks all the time. Everyone more says, why didn't the Amish get COVID? They don't have TV. What does TV have to do with COVID? They didn't get COVID probably because they're isolated. However, I don't necessarily know that they didn't get COVID.
I did a joke because they couldn't get brainwashed. That's fucking was a thing.
Big A says, and to be clear, I only wore masks when it was required to enter a store. Otherwise, I would have never wore one. And my dad is cardiologist. I had zero fear of COVID. Yeah, but you're healthy. If you lived with your grandma and she was, she wasn't in great health, would you have wore a mask then? Because, that was kind of the point of it, especially if you had a person who was below the age of, I think it was 14 or 12 that were like extra, I don't know, for some reason they were more susceptible to not only carrying it, but to transmitting it to other people. That's why they were separating grandparents from their grandkids.
And it was heavy here, man. Like I said, there was big influxes of it here. I don't know, obviously the whole country had it bad. But I remember like talking to my friend in California. She's up like Santa Rosa. And, going through it over here, seeing the hospitals and everything. And I touched base with her. And I'm like, hey, what's going on? How's everything going? And, she's like, oh, my dad and my mom are in ICU right now. You know what I mean? And her mom or her dad didn't make it. I think it was her mom that gave it to her dad. Like, that's a shitty thing to live with, too, man. Like, you get it like that, and then you give it to your spouse, and then you both wind up in ICU, and you're the one that makes it, man. Like,
yeah, I'd feel bad.
But they were taking it seriously, too, and that was kind of my point. It's like, it didn't really matter, man. Like, whether you thought it was a joke, whether you wore 3 masks, 4 masks, like, you were in that position where you just happened to get it. If you weren't healthy, man, yeah, it was tough.
That's why people were freaking out and taking big precautions. Tony says, my wife is a nurse. She said she never seen a body bag with a vaccinated body in it. Ooh, yeah. There are other places in Asia besides Japan. Is my favorite country. I love Japan. It is very, very clean. Japan cares about its people's quality of life. Samurai ways of taking pride in your work and community have continued, thankfully. I don't know if that's what it is, but it's something over there. Holding a mega box of Chapter 1 Heroes sealed and Series 1 Topps Chrome B Friends. Yeah, sit on those sealed boxes forever. They're just only going to go up in value. Big A says you go walk the French Quarter and White Sox in morning here. French Quarter, where's that? But so they pressure wash
Louisiana.
it. Oh, okay. They pressure wash it every day. Yeah, New York City could use a pressure wash. I agree. New York City needs a pressure wash and lotion, apparently.
Damn right. To wash our ass with fucking communism.
All right. So I'm opening up my Topps Chrome. Is Chase Burns? Is he a good rookie?
Yeah, man. What Burns you get? Just a
Oh,
regular
is he?
Chrome?
It's
Dude, Burns is nasty, bro. Burns and Mizorowski are like the two future aces in the league.
It's like this ticket one, but it looks like it's a refractor. But I don't know if all of these ticket inserts are refractors. If so, then it's
Was it the
fine.
last card or second to last card?
Last card?
Oh, so it is the refractor. Yeah, that's good. That's a nice hit. That's a big ticket fucking Burns. Hell yeah, dude.
Oh, I got a weird looking card. I got a couple cool cards here. Jack Leader or Letter. Not a rookie. It's a good refractor. But what is this card here? This looks different than all the other cards. It's like a full
Oh, that's a perspective card. Those are dope.
a perspective card.
Who's that, Kurtz? Yeah, it looks like Kurtz.
Yep, Nick Kurtz.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anything special. I'm hoping to pull.
He's not a rookie, but if that was a rookie card of his, it would be worth some money.
It's cool that it's just one of those perspective cards. I don't think I have any of those yet. I'm hoping to pull your boy.
The French Quarter is
Murakami.
not in France. It's in Louisiana. New Orleans.
French Quarter. That's what I was thinking. Is New Orleans. I got this rookie insert Montgomery. Don't know that guy.
Oh, there you go. That's a good one. I thought it was
is it?
Murakami. Either way, that's nice.
I wish it was Murakami. I'm looking for.
Leo, it's exactly what I said, Leo. They look just like Stadium Club, except they're worth more money. Stadium Club ain't worth shit anymore, dude. Overproduced crap.
I got another refractor, but it's not a rookie. Looks like Malik. Somebody who plays for the Royals. Nothing good. I got 2 packs left. Hoping to pull something good like I did for my last Topps Chrome box, but it's starting to look rough.
At least you didn't lose money on my call.
I got my boy. Yeah, that's true. You definitely made me some money on that. My boy Mookie Betts card, and it's like a 1990 Topps flashback print. Mookie
There
Betts.
you go.
Oh, I got my real boy, Willie Mays card. I like these little throwback cards. I have a whole box full of them from like newer sets, but it's like old school players. I got tons of those.
Yeah, those are cool.
You can
Oh, yeah.
put them together, and you can find people that buy them on eBay. There's people who collect them. All right, so my
boy
last
does.
pack.
He puts little sets together and of like the inserts and shit. People buy them, especially if you do it early on when the set comes out.
All right, is this guy any good? Zach Cole.
Eh,
Nah. Rookie refractor. No autographs in this box. No,
I mean the fact that it's a rookie, it is the red, white, and blue. That's cool.
Yeah, it is the red, white, and blue.
Listen, that's the beauty of Topps, right? Especially Topps Chrome. You get a card like that, yeah, right now, worth a few bucks maybe. Put it aside. That guy turns into be a nice fucking all-rounder. He's not going to be a 40, 50 home run guy ever. But turns into a good all-star fucking utility guy. Yeah, maybe it's worth a couple $100 down the road when he retires, you know?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to tell my kid about his basketball cards. You never know which rookies could end up being big stars. Yeah,
Well, baseball, like I said, baseball, not only is this rookie class insane, baseball is also like this precipice of getting a lot more popular again. So if you have these really young group of talent coming in and these guys coming up right now, it's just going to be all better. Basketball, if you buy basketball cards, you're hunting like 2-3 cards in a fucking set. You know what I mean? It's hard. Way harder than baseball.
All right,
And then football is a joke. Football is like, what, you want Jackson Dart? Well, that's it. Like everything else doesn't work jack shit. Sorry, go.
Yeah, you never know who the rookies are going to be good in football early on. It seems like it's hard to call. I mean, it could be like a second-round pick. All right.
Yeah, but baseball, you get a year after.
Yeah,
all the guys
exactly.
that are rookies played last year, so you already know. That's the benefit. But
Yeah.
all right, I digress. Go ahead.
All right, I want to show you guys this collectible that just popped up on the internet, and it's super, super cool. I think it's super cool anyway. So the story of it is back in the day, LeBron James, when he was in high school, he threw away this piece of paper. And what he did was, before making it to the NBA, he knew he was going to go to the NBA. So he would take out paper and he would practice his signature to figure out what signature he was going to use. Well, some kid was smart enough to go pick up that piece of paper that he threw away one day, and he just got it authenticated by PSA. And if you look at it, it looks super dope. So it's different ways that LeBron was thinking about making his autograph look. I think one of them, he has King James on there. I don't know. I think that would be super dope. I'm an autograph collector. That's why I liked it in particular. I don't know what it would sell for. I don't think it is for sale, but it seems like a really cool collectible. What do you think, Mo? You like it? We lost Mo. He's shocked. It's so good that it blew him off his mic or something. Are we still live? We good?
Holy shit! No, my fucking mixer turned off. All right, I'm back. Sorry.
Did you see the LeBron paper?
I did. You know, I was listening. I just couldn't talk.
Oh.
Yeah, it's crazy. And what's even crazier, we had a dude that was supposed to be like the Jordan. I guess this is before LeBron's time, but they basically treated him like he was gonna be the next LeBron. I talked about him. He's actually the guy that played against what's his face, Lamar Odom. When Lamar Odom played for that like not a Catholic, it was a Catholic school or whatever. Anyway, my boys play against him. They used to fucking dominate them, right?
Yeah.
So I used to have him sign notebooks in my English class every day.
Smart.
And if this guy turned out to be like a LeBron, bro, I would have been rich. I got these things in storage, bro. I'm telling you, he used to just sit there and be like, name. I almost said the name. I don't want to fucking, dox it.
Don't
And
jinx
he
it.
just signed his name over and over and over, bro. It was fucking hilarious. So that's why when I saw this, I was like, dude, that could have been me.
Could have been me.
I could have
It
been
was
me.
smart of you to hold on to those though. Big A said sold all his candy MLB stuff and my only bat cow. You sold your bat cow. They're at like 200 floors. Seems too low. Don't trust the pump. I thought about selling into the pump too. They're pumping a little bit now that candy's available on Magic Eden. They're about to have this drop tomorrow with the auctions that I'm gonna talk about here in a second. Kryptoni, what's his name? Dr. Strange also agrees with that, and I've been looking into it, trying to figure out what the science behind it is. And there's a little bit. They reached an agreement between DC and Candy. Yeah, according to Tad, they have an agreement. Their license is all good. Right. Indigenous to the land. Let me catch up with the chat. Lamar played against the brothel. Played against the Kardashians. Big A says, I'm good. Sold my cow for 3 Solana. Oh, you must have had a good cow then. Balt, did you sell your rainbow? No, I did open up my 5 packs that I got from Candy last week. My big pull was a rainbow trout. I got Mike Trout yellow, and the mint number was 15 of 15, so it's the last mint. One just sold, number 12 of 15, sold for 200 today. I've got mine listed for 500 because that's how I roll. But maybe I should go ahead and sell it. I don't know. All right. If you guys haven't heard yet about the Michael Jordan's rookie cards are pumping. That not just his rookie card, a lot of Jordan cards are pumping. A lot of old school NBA cards are pumping. I don't exactly know why, but for example, this has doubled in price in the last 5 months. The Michael Jordan rookie card, a card I've never had, unfortunately. But
Because people are watching the show and they're coming to the grips with reality that Jordan is the GOAT.
I don't remember saying that Jordan is the GOAT. I don't necessarily know if I believe that. Uh-oh.
If you could own one basketball card, Jordan rookie. If you could own one baseball card, Ohtani rookie. I'm taking that shit to the grave.
This card has also been pumping, which makes me mad because I used to have a bunch of them. I think I still have
Oh, I had so
one.
many.
What's that?
I had so many.
I know. I used to have this. They used to sell these cards for like 50 cents each, but now
How
they're
much
like
are they?
40 or 50
Make me
each.
sick.
They're going for 40 or 50.
Oh, it's still not that great, but it makes me sick.
Yeah, so Jordan cards are pumping, which I'm hoping that extends to all the other stars from back then because I got tons of John Stocktons, Karl Malones, Akeem Olajuwon, Scottie Pippens. I got hundreds of all those players. I don't have a lot of Jordans. I still got a few. Got 6 of those cards. Let's go. All right. My cow's just average. I just listed it the first day. Dang, yeah, you did good then because they're selling for like 200 right now. I paid like 400 or 500 for mine, so I ain't selling less than that. Of course, I didn't pay my actual money for it. I paid money that I got from other drops. But this is the drop I was talking about. I think it happens tomorrow. But it's all auctions. And they're saying they're going to sell between like 500 to 1,000. Too rich for my blood. I'm not getting into it. But if you're a whaler, you're into this stuff, they have some pretty good pulls that you can hit. They show how Ohtani is one of them. Everything, of course, is low edition. Logan Paul did a pack ripping last week where they opened 6 of these cards out of a box. What was that, Upper Deck like 98 or something? I have 4 Jordan baseball cards. I used to have a bunch of them. That's why the price is pumping. Oh, well, maybe on that card in particular, but the Jordan rookies you saw doubled in price over the last few months. I think it was a big London paper that wrote a headline about Nkosi back in the 80s or 70s, the man who hates white people. Tucson, what are you talking about? He's on his own thing right there. I don't know.
Tucson, you're on the wrong topic, man. We had a good day with you today. Come on, Tucson. Reel it in. Collectibles time. Talk shit about VV. Talk shit about candy. Come on, man. We need you.
Tony says, my mom is white. I'm not anti-white. My wife is white, but I understand the country and the indoctrination of racism. And I like talking about race. If there's some way you can put that into a good topic for next week, maybe we'll bring it up in politics. I have to think about what the thesis, what the headline of the topic would be, but it's something that I'd like to talk about. I've got my own opinions on it. Ghost Slayer says, the interview led me to believe this is the route Candy wants to go. It was a really good interview that the CEO, Tad, did recently. If you want to check it out on the Candy YouTube channel. Just auction
That would
house.
be comical. Because Kryptoni wants us basically 2 white guys to talk about white guilt. That seems like a crazy ass fucking topic.
I don't have no white
Like,
guilt. I like
No,
talking
neither do
about
I. As I'm saying,
race.
so for us to sit around and talk about how this country is racist based on that, just we're probably the two wrong guys for that fucking discussion.
Not me. I'm the right guy. I'm here for it. Let's do it. Hitler learned how to do his camps from the American ones for Indians.
I mean, we would just be agreeing, though. I don't be a debate.
I don't know if we would. I've got pretty. I mean, I think I've talked about it before. How I feel like the elites are purposely injecting racism to keep people from being multicultural, from mixing DNA, because the more mixed DNA, the healthier your offspring are and the smarter your offspring are. So they don't want us to mix DNA. They want us to be racist, so we don't mix DNA because they want to keep us dumb. So trust me, I have my own views when it comes to race and the reason why racism exists. But I digress. It's time to end the live stream for this week. However, we will be back next week, next Tuesday, for next Tuesday's Commie and The Hog live stream. If there's anything in particular you guys want us to talk about, like paranormal topics, politics, whatever, just get a hold of me on Twitter or Discord. And there's a drop this weekend that I plan on streaming. It's a weird drop. There's 5 gems each, but there's this key that you can get, and you got to get the key to craft this solo leveling collectible. So I plan on streaming that drop. I don't know if it's Saturday or Sunday. I think it's Sunday if you want to come by and hang out with me for that. If not, I'll see you on Tuesday. Mo, you got anything planned for this week?
Nope. I'm just finishing up that Power World game. I built my pyramid. I mean, next week I'll give you guys a tour. And that's about it. Just dealing with this fucking heat over here, man. Holy shit. Okay, like I lose my voice after like a half hour talking. It's so hot.
I was telling Mo, the people in New York are not used to this kind of heat. It's that global warming. All right, everybody. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. And we will see y'all next week. Have a good one. Later.